Okay, it looks like we might have it now. The picture I'm seeing of myself is in a past life by about 3 minutes, but we'll deal with that as it comes. Jitsi Meets seems to be working, and I have not yet posted the link in the At the Bench thread, so y'all hang in there and I'll post it in just a minute because I wanted to get all this fiddling out of the way, like I've been doing every other show this week. And click live here, and that way I won't have to do so much editing the next morning at the beginning of the video. And I see Jack Snavely's in there with me. I don't know how far off we are, but okay. Let's see. What else do I need to get started? I got my sound is on. Okay, I'm going over to At the Bench and posting now. And okay, the link is now in the At the Bench thread, so you can click on that to come in here with your microphone and camera. So it took me 12 minutes to get out of all of that crud, and it takes that many tries just to get a good connection. I ended up having to close everything, every tab, and restart the whole show. So I got the chat box up. I see Jack's out there in the chat box. Thanks, Jack. And as all of you chat boxers on YouTube know, we've got the super chat at the bottom with the block $sign if y'all are so inclined. If you drop us a couple of nickels, that'll be good for Sparky server fees, equipment, all the things it takes to bring you this live, and that applies to contests and meets and everything else too. So somebody post and tell me. Let me see. Okay, I'm in sync. I seem to be in sync now. Well, I am on Jitsi. Let me try it over here. Nah, I'm a few seconds off over there on YouTube, so I don't know if that's going to straighten out or not. Click the little place where it says live over to the left down at the bottom where the YouTube controls are. Maybe it'll hook up and be synchronized. But anyway, we're here, and hope we can have a good live chat tonight. It is Friday night. Thank goodness it's Friday. Been a long week, and it is August the 30th, 2019, and don't have any real news for you. So I'm depending on y'all to jump in and entertain me, see what's going on, and so we'll hang out here until probably midnight. If I got any gas in the tank, we'll hang out longer than that. Let me check my Stunt Hangar at the bench, and yeah, it's up. Okay, so if anybody clicks on the link in there, then they should be able to jump straight in with us. And I'm surprised no other YouTubers have posted yet, but Friday's a busy day for a lot of people getting ready to go to contests or even concerts or whatever it is you do on Friday nights around there. And so I'm just chilling. I'm looking forward to a whole weekend of chilling. And so that's my list of things I want to do this weekend. Friday, chill. Saturday, chill. Sunday, chill. All right, we got that out of the way. And let's see, my phone just dinged. I bet that was the notification to this thread. Let me click back and see if it's looking. Yeah, see if it's looking like it's supposed to. YouTube. Come on, where is YouTube? There it is. And I should have a notification. Skip trial. No, I don't want a free trial. And Stunt Hangar video chat, August 30th, 2019. And yep, I see me talking. Still still in a past life. I think. Let's see how long it takes me to raise my hand. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, I can't count much higher than that, so that's about all we got. So hopefully it'll sync up for y'all, or maybe it's just me because I got so many tabs open to run this software that it makes it naturally glitchy. But I hope y'all got some flying in this week, or some building, or did something fun. And hope Jack's not the only one out there tonight. But if Jack's the only one we got, then Jack, welcome to the show, the big show, the Stunt Hangar Big Show with Rusty. How do you make this go away? Boom. There we go. All right, now, if somebody out there on YouTube send me a text, make sure I got the right chat box up. I've had so many windows open, make sure. And the other one says, yeah, boom. Yeah, it says, Jack says, hello, Rusty, I see you at 9:52 p.m. That's about how long that chat box has been up there, so don't think I have another one. Yeah, actually, there are several chat boxes before I get the whole show started. But yeah, somebody give me a shout out. Let me know you're live, and I'll hang out here and wait. Otherwise, oh, there's Pat McElravy. Hey, Pat, sounds good here. How about my voice and my physical actions? Are they in sync? Oh, there's Charles Carter. Hey, Charles, how are you tonight? Good to see you. I was just asking y'all to confirm whether I'm synchronized between my sound and my physical actions. In other words, are my lips and my words coming out at the same time? And that's not even a big deal, but it's better than having nothing but a big R with a circle around it. So, but I'm glad to have y'all with us tonight. I'm glad to know somebody else is out there. Charles, are you going to a contest this weekend? I remember several people talking about contests. Oh, good. Charles says sync is good. Perfect. Everything looks good. Okay, good. Thanks for confirming that for me. So, who's going to a contest this weekend? You going, Charles? Are you going to fly anywhere, or Pat? Or Jack, for that matter. Jack, I know you're not a big on contest flying, are you? I can't remember if you've talked about competitive aerobatics or combat or anything like that. Jack says, "Yep, you're in step with the voice." Okay, everybody's confirming that now. Thanks. Everything's working fine. It just takes 5 dadgum times to get a good bandwidth connection, and part of that is probably my service. It must be right on the edge of not having enough megabits. And so I have to shut everything down and restart it and finally get it good enough to where it'll accept it. It's pretty picky, but it looks good when it works. But anyway, hey, that's what I say. My wife pointed that out the other day. But anyway, that's what I say when I can't think of something to say. That's better than I try not to say too much. Oh, let's see. Not this weekend, Charles says. No contests. And we got Charles Carter coming in live with us. Hey, Charles, how you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing well. How was my connection tonight? I know last time it was terrible, what you guys said.
You are stoppy-goey and a little blurry. but clear enough to see.
Okay. And I sound okay?
Sound fine, yeah. Yeah, the audio
Okay.
is good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, your video is just a little like it's dropping frames, if you know what I mean.
I do. I do. Yeah. Hey, I just wanted to give you a little company, but I'm gonna have to come back. I'm gonna have to go eat, and then I'm gonna hook up my garage and continue working on my plane while the show is on, and hopefully we have a good time tonight.
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe you can drop in once in a while and show us your progress or something. Have you got a camera over there in the garage, or are you just going to be
I'm
watching on
gonna
your
take.
phone?
I'm gonna use my laptop, but I do have an extra camera, so I'll hook up the camera. I can do that, and yeah, all I'm doing is working on the few sides of my new Strega, and I'm putting an access hatch in the back underneath the elevator horn, or
Yeah.
should say,
And
in line with it. I mean,
are you having to put a spreader in the very tail end of the fuselage to get it wide enough to where you can access your ball link or a clevis or whatever it is you got back there?
that's a good question. I have to look at the plans. The other Strega, the ARF that I had no problem, you know, but this time I'm actually doing it before the few sides are glued to the bulkheads and formers. So it's a flat surface, and I just thought it'd be easier if I do it before I put it together.
Yeah. But so this is in the plans on the Strega.
No, it's just that I'm planning on having my elevator horn has a slider so I can adjust it,
Yeah.
and so I thought, well, why not do it before I put it together? That way I can really
Right.
hopefully make a real nice access hatch without having to
Yeah,
worry about
yeah, that sounds
other
like a
stuff.
good idea because once everything's put together, it's so easy to botch something and make it look ugly. And so, yeah, good. I hope you get it like you want it with that. I
Yeah.
did that to one of my planes. What did I? Oh, my Oriental. I know I had an Oriental ARF, and I needed tail weight and I needed a wider trailing edge of the fuselage. So I just took a half-inch balsa square dowel about 2 inches long, however long it is, and jammed it in there to spread it and glued it. And then I made a cutout panel. I beveled it all the way around as a square, and that way, well, um, I could screw the cap over just like a wingtip weight box,
Okay. Yeah.
and except for when you take the cap off, there's your control adjustments.
Hey, there
Okay,
you
Right.
Dave,
are.
how's it going
Hey,
tonight?
Steve.
Hey, guys. I
Hey,
got
how's it
on
going?
earlier and you weren't on. I'm like, I hope Rusty's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you for
Yeah.
thinking of it.
Hey, Steve. I'm gonna bounce. So now that he has company, I'm gonna go eat and come back. All right.
All right.
All right.
Thanks
See
for
you later.
keeping me company for a little while, Charles. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, man. I'll see you in a little bit.
I got advertisements popping up on my screen. It says snack flights dementia. This Alzheimer's blocking snack may be the memory saving discovery of the century. Bullshit. Get off of my computer.
I I heard
They
of that.
came
I
up
was
in my notifications over on the right hand bottom corner of my Windows, yeah, and an ad just popped up. I don't know. I don't think it had anything to do with Jitsi because I've been seeing these things more often. I think I must have changed some advertisement permission setting or something.
oh, I
So
heard
I
about
gotta
that
go back
stuff.
through and see what I've done.
I heard about that stuff and I was gonna get some, but I couldn't remember the name of it.
Yeah. Oh well.
I was, heard from Sparky at all?
Nah, not today, and he hadn't been in here tonight. Um, I've had a busy week, so I hasn't really been near the computer at all.
Oh no, he hasn't been feeling good. He was on Wednesday night. He said he was going to be on last night, but never came through that he was on. for the build.
With the Tucker special.
Yeah.
I started keeping up with it a couple of weeks ago when everything was going smooth for me and I had time for stuff like that, but this hadn't been one of those weeks. I hadn't had a chance to do much of anything on my forums and YouTube stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so yeah, I had some questions for him, but I don't know. I guess he's just not. So he hasn't felt good since FCM.
I hope he gets better. Being sick sucks. I've been a little ill too, so hopefully we'll all feel better soon.
So you got water ready and all that kind of stuff?
What do you mean? Oh, that thing's not coming towards me, is it?
It shows that it's coming up through South Carolina and North Carolina now.
Oh gosh.
After it hits Florida, and they said they don't know if it's going to bounce up the coast. That's what they were just saying. Or if it's going to, once it gets inland, it'll still travel up to Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. Then it looks like it's going to go back out to sea.
What, do you have any recollection of what days it might be concerning South Carolina?
Maybe. Well, they're talking now Tuesday that it hits Florida because it slowed down.
Okay.
So
maybe it'll just peter out. I hope so, because I might have.
It showed on there what they thought about rainfall, and they were showing like 18 inches of rain in South Carolina.
Oh Lord. Okay. Well,
I don't know how close you are to the coast. You're not that close, are you?
130 miles.
Yeah. So, but they said that I guess when another hurricane came through there, what, 2 years ago, and it flooded all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that was Irene.
But they said that this could take the same kind of path up through there.
Oh God, I do not need this. I hope it spares us. I might have some more hospital medical stuff coming up, and I don't want to be transferred around or anything. I guess they'll take care of me the best they can. But
we got another operation, or
I hope not. But there's a little infection going on somewhere, and we don't really know what. But
or you don't know if it's your shoulder or the new hip, or
yeah, well, they took a sample from the hip yesterday, and it shows nothing. But that's where I busted open the incision the other day when I fell out of the bed.
Well, that's not good.
No, I will see what it is. I tend to imagine the worst, but the worst is a bad scene. So we're gonna hope for the best.
I thought that incision would be all healed up by now.
It was, but there was one spot that was getting sore, and I don't know if I busted it open coming out of the bed like that, or if it was already opening up. But I had a doctor's appointment that same day, so that was good luck, and didn't look bad. So they sent me to get a fluid test, and so far it's negative. But I'm running fever like crazy.
That's not good. Yeah, I did. It happened to me when I had that prostate surgery. I got infection in the scar or the incision.
Yeah.
And I knew it was hurting and stuff, and then it got hurting real bad in that one spot, and I had to go in and show them. So they actually opened it up because it was like opening, cleaned it all out, and then gave me antibiotics. They weren't paying attention, and I'm allergic to sulfa. They gave me sulfa. So the first pill I wasn't feeling good. The second one I took, I started throwing up, and throwing up so hard I thought I was dying. Then I couldn't get off the bathroom floor to the phone, and I laid in the bathroom for about 6 hours.
Oh shit, Steve. That's terrible. I
Till
only had to stay on the floor for about a half hour while Ollie drove home from work. But anyway, enough of that. We'll deal with it as it comes, and there's nothing else we can do. So hopefully it'll clear up for all of us. I'm ready for a clear patch.
yeah. Well, once they put me on the right stuff, then it wasn't bad at all. It was just it cleared up in a few days, but
yeah.
Yeah, hopefully they find out where it's at real soon. It seems like they put you on antibiotics.
They did. It sounds like same stuff you were on.
Okay.
Yeah, some kind of sulfur base. But
yeah, they said that's the go-to deal with incision or operation infections for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't either. We got to find some new alternatives to the old fashioned antibiotics because they're becoming less and less effective.
Yeah.
And Jerry Hoofer says, "Hey man, I love laying in the bathroom."
What's that?
He says, Jerry, who? Let me see what it says. Jerry Hoofer says, "Hey man, I love laying in the bathroom."
Yeah, it wasn't a lot of fun. At least there was a rug in the bathroom and I laid on it. Otherwise, I'd have been laying on cold tile. It was so cold. But yeah, after that pill wore off, then I got up and called them and said, "Don't take any more of that." I said, "I wasn't planning on it."
Well, what's going on in the aeromodeling front with you and Sam?
We didn't go to the team trials. She decided not to go. And so she was tired of what people were saying and stuff like that. And she said for her to take off to school and work and the cost of going, that it wasn't worth it. So we may go to the European.
Were people bad mouthing her or something?
Well, there was some that said that it was, another kid's turn. And then there was a big argument about she was too old to go after they changed the age limit to 21. And then other ones were saying, well, you're an adult at 18 and they shouldn't have changed it to 21. And
that's not her problem or her fault.
Like she said, you think these other kids aren't going to be there that are 19, 20 years old now? Yeah. Same ones that were there with her, that were all going to time out. And now they're all going to be able to fly again. But she thought it was, we send the best people. You go to the team trials and the best people get to go.
Yeah.
That it's not certain person's turn to go.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's stupid. That's just petty bickering.
Yeah. So she goes, they don't seem to want me to go, so that's fine. But I told her she wants to. The week before, we'll go to the European Championship. She can fly that. She'll see all the same people anyway.
So what country would she represent?
Just herself.
Oh, can you do that? An independent?
Yeah, you can go. Anybody can fly in the. It's kind of like flying at the Nats.
Yeah.
You just got to have your FAA number, which she already has, and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, it won't be a problem. But yeah, her boyfriend was going to go, and he wanted to see her fly in the World Championships and stuff. And
yeah, man, it sucks. I hate that she took it that way, but she probably, there might be more in her mind than she's letting on too. So, but anyway, I'm pulling for her, whatever she does.
Yeah, we were all ready to go. The airplane, everything, and she's like, well, I knew. I let everybody know at FCM, the people there, that let everybody know she wasn't going, because some people weren't going because they said, well, she goes, there ain't no sense of us going to try to fly against her. And I told everybody, I said, well, she said she's not going to do it. So
What does FCM stand for?
Federation of Christian Modelers, or
Fellowship.
Fellowship of Christian Modelers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a blast at that contest. So yeah, I met Paul Walker's wife, and we were all joking around. I mean, Sparky and Paul and me and his wife and just everybody there. John, the guy Sparky flies with. I mean, we had to throw darts against each other, and we were like,
oh yeah, I think y'all talked about that the other night.
Yeah, me and John.
Paul Walker, right?
Yeah, it was like me and John, though. It was like U of M against Ohio State, because he's from Ohio, me from Michigan, so we threw darts. But it was just lucky. I mean, Paul outthrew me all night long on points. I mean, going against John too, I just happened to throw a bullseye with my first damn dart, and that's worth some. I forget how many points it was worth, but I didn't have to throw the second round. I got so many on that first round.
Do you get more points if you're? Does it make any difference depending on whether it's your first dart that you've thrown or your fifth dart?
No,
it doesn't.
And what it was is I was aiming for the 20s up high.
Yeah.
Or it's wider.
And you just screwed up and hit the bullseye.
Yeah. At least I was in the right angle or whatever, straight onto it. But I didn't have enough oomph on it, and it just kind of arced into the bullseye.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got that, and then I hit another 20. And I don't know what a bullseye. I think a bullseye is worth 100 points, but I'm not sure. Because triple 20s worth 60. Maybe it's worth 70 points or 75. I don't know. But I had such a lot of points but it's like I wasn't throwing well, and I just happened to win, Then up against Paul, I threw an 18. I mean, that was nothing. He goes, well, maybe I'll throw an 18. I'll be damned if he didn't throw an 18.
Was it just an impromptu game that y'all conjured up?
No, Alan had it planned. I guess they did it last year too, and everybody had a blast with it. Single elimination.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. It just happened to be that, like Sparky, first two darts he threw in practice were bullseyes, and then when he went up, he got beat by 1 point or 2 points. But someone else seems like they hit a triple 20 or something. It was kind of lucky. But yeah, it was kind of just luck on some stuff, because you only had 6 darts.
Yeah.
And, there was no coming back on some of that stuff unless you.
I used to have a dartboard set up in my garage, and I kind of missed that. The humidity got to it and it fell apart, and I never did replace it. We played a lot of darts back in the day. I never knew all of the different games, but we just chucked darts at the board. Kind of made our own rules up as we went. I think somebody amongst us knew most of the rules.
Well, I had a girlfriend that played darts, and I watched her. I went up these contests a couple times and watched her play. But I can't believe how fast they can count or subtract. I mean, you start with 500, and it's the first one to 0. So they throw 3 darts, and it's like a triple 20 and an 18 and this and that, and they got that score, and bang, and they're writing it down. How fast it went. I'm like, wow. That's a game to where you learn to subtract, add and subtract real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, she had her own little dart she took apart and put in there, and they were all weighed or balanced and the weight she liked, and she did pretty good at it. But
Yeah, it sounds like she's naturally coordinated, hand-eye coordination.
yeah, she did pretty good. We had a guy I worked with was really good, and when he was in the Army, he was stationed in Britain for the whole time. And he said all he did was play darts every night, because darts is huge in Great Britain.
Yeah.
And they play for beers and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was about to say drinking beer and throwing darts.
Mm-hmm. And he said it didn't take him long he got aboard and practiced back at his barracks or whatever. So he didn't have to buy so many damn beers and stuff. And I mean, he knew the game really good to where he needed so many points to, you got to go to 0. You can't go to like the minus, So if he needs 5 to get out, you got to throw a 5 or a 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
And before he even got that low, I mean, it was like, and then, shooting for a double 3 or a double 6, or whatever you needed to go to 0. And it was like, holy cow. But he said, he played tournaments and all that kind of stuff. And he said he played 7 days a week. So he got pretty good.
That's a lot of dart throwing. I believe I'd get bored doing that much. Oh, hey, Gary Sinclair's in here. Says, I've been trying to get on. I had to quit and finally saw Steve. And now I see. Okay, good. Glad you made it on, Gary. Yeah, I had my usual funky set of retries to start the show. I think it took me 12 minutes of trying to get the broadcast to go over to the YouTube side. So, but anyway, glad you made it.
Hey,
somebody else joined us. JR, Jeff Riley, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How you guys doing?
We're all right.
I thought nobody was going to get on tonight. I mean, I haven't seen Dennis at a mission in a couple weeks, and Sparky's not on. He wasn't on Monday either. Or oh yeah, he was on last Friday because he was getting ready up. They're leaving in the morning.
Yeah.
Morning.
Yeah, I was actually watching on YouTube, and I just got done cleaning up my airbrush again. Spraying more color. Steve, don't use that water-based paint.
No.
That stuff is horrible.
Well, that Createx. Yeah.
Don't use it. For one, it smells horrible. For two, it does not blow out your fan. For three, it does not clean out of your airbrush. And four, it's impossible to mix and get a decent flow out of it. It's horrible. If you're going to use that stuff, just go back to monocoat.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fouled up mess.
Well, I was kind of hoping it worked because I got a lot of money into this shit.
Createx works great if you're going to brush it on canvas and hang it on the wall. If you're going to spray it, I mean, remember you asked me about that hood that I painted with it? I told you that thing came out for shit anyway. You don't want to see the pictures of it because I saw the pictures of it today. I deleted them. I'm not even showing those pictures.
Now the Createx, you got the airbrush colors that they make?
Let me see your bottle.
Because this says it's made for airbrushes.
That's what I bought.
Oh, was it? Because they had a couple different kinds there.
Yeah, I bought that. I bought the Createx reducer.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
That's what I'm saying. Gotta hope I was hoping it worked because I got like $30 into this.
It doesn't stick.
Well, I tried.
doesn't-
I was trying to start some stuff with it, but it doesn't cover the white. Doesn't cover gray primer with a crap.
None of it covers for shit.
Oh, doesn't it?
The only one color that they have that covers halfway decent is the silver.
Oh, okay.
And the silver covers pretty good. I mean, you've sprayed silver dope, right?
Yeah.
Silver dope covers like one coat, maybe two if you got light, right? That shit's like 4 coats.
Oh, no kidding.
And then when you weigh it, it's almost 1.5 the weight of urethane, and it's over 3 times the weight of dope.
That's what I've heard. I've always heard it was hard to get a good even coat, but you're saying otherwise on that.
Well,
But
oh, whatchamajigger there uses that stuff from Walmart, and he gets his whole damn paint job on his airplanes where it's less than 2 ounces.
I don't know what he's using, but
Some airbrush
Createx-
paint, some airbrush paint that Walmart sells costs.
It might be auto color.
No, because he said the stuff only costs like 99 cents for a bottle of it. It's cheaper.
we got Brent Williams over on YouTube says Createx has several product lines. Use their Wicked or the Auto Air Colors products. Createx is good for airbrushing t-shirts too.
Oh, it might be great for t-shirts, but I don't think I'd paint an airplane with it.
Really,
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I got.
I'm
Lucid.
telling you what Brent said.
Yeah.
I mean, Brent might know something I don't, but I've been painting cars and boats and bikes and stuff like that for 25 years, and I finally got used to the urethanes, and they were tough to get used to.
I
was doing lacquer paint before that.
I want to try UV, automotive UV coating.
I haven't tried that yet.
And I seen it on YouTube. You know, they do things with it, and you can thin it so it'll really flow out. And that's one thing about models. You want it on nice and thin. And then
Yeah,
you let it set and it flows out because it doesn't dry. And then they just take a UV light and hit it, and it's instantly dry within so many seconds. That UV cure. But I want to try it. But
what is it? Is it a urethane base?
Pardon me?
Is it a urethane base?
I'm not sure what UV cure is, if it's a urethane or what, but they're using it on cars now and stuff. Because it does.
I know the thing about painting cars, hot rods, and stuff like that. Nobody cared about how much paint we put on it because nobody cared what it weighed.
Well, yeah. What this is though is that you can thin it out, and it doesn't have to be buffed as hard, and that's what the auto body places like.
That would be nice.
You can put it on, and then let it set for so many minutes, and it smooths right out, and then you cure it.
That would be nice because the rubbing out part is the bitch of the whole paint job.
Right. So I'm thinking, well, if that's the case, then it would lay down nice on an airplane, and you wouldn't have to rub the airplane out as much.
Yeah, but does it flow smooth or does it flow thick? If it flows thick, it's going to be heavy.
Well, that's what I said. You can thin it.
Looks like Trey just joined us. I think I see somebody in his background too. Hey Trey, what's going on?
Hello.
Yellow.
Nobody in my background.
No, it's just
Oh,
a beer
yeah.
bottle. He's got a beer bottle there.
I was
Here's
hallucinating.
to you, Trent.
It's
Oh,
my
it is. That was a
What kind is
illusion.
it? What does it say? Lingers?
Probably says lager.
Youngling.
Oh, okay.
Yingling lager, yeah. But Holly likes that brand. She also likes the black and tan Yingling. That's good stuff.
Typically, I buy the German stuff.
Let's see if you can see where mine is from.
All right, hey. Cheers.
Here's to you,
Yeah,
brother.
Yingling's not German. Yingling's American stuff.
Okay.
The oldest brewery in the United States, from what they say on their label, I think.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I don't know where they're. It's supposed to be. I seen something on there. It's supposed to be the same recipe as it was in 1700s or something like that, from wherever it came from, Czechoslovakia or
Somewhere like that.
Good stuff. Here comes Mike. I believe Mike.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Mike.
What's up,
Yeah.
people?
Not much. Just Friday night.
You know what I'm gonna do?
I haven't seen you on here in a while, Mike.
Been busy, man. I checked in a couple weeks ago, but you weren't on, I don't think. I don't know. There wasn't many people on the last time I checked in. Rusty remembers. I don't know, two
Yeah, I
weeks ago
remember.
or something.
Yeah, that was like 2 weeks ago Friday. I fell asleep. I took a pain pill because my back was hurting. Lay down on the couch, thought I'd get feeling better. It did. When I woke up, I felt fine, but I'd slept through the whole damn night. Then I can't go back to sleep.
Oh, okay.
It could have been a sleeper of a show too. We've had a few sleepers since we've switched over to our new software system here, but I'm getting it smoothed out fairly well.
How you
Yeah, I
getting
woke
along?
up like 12:30, got on, and you guys were already off. So
Yeah.
Rusty, I'm sure I missed the health update, but how are you getting along?
Not too good this week. I fell out of bed on Tuesday and landed on my left side, which is my shoulder, hip,
Oh, God.
all that. But it didn't hurt. It did not hurt any of that stuff. I can't believe none of the screws were loose. But I've got a gash in the incision on my right hip where it must have hit something, and it's infected now. So, and I'm running fever like crazy. So I don't know. I'll either I'll get it. I've gotten it checked out. Had some fluid drawn. They couldn't find anything, but changing the bandage tonight did not look good. So now it's the weekend.
I'm sorry to hear that, but you don't have to lie and say you fell out of bed. You can tell the truth that Holly whipped your
I
ass. Or
bounced out of bed. Yeah. Yeah, getting a little too rough too soon. But anyway, yeah, it was starting out. I was going to have a great week because, man, I've been doing so good. And all of a sudden, blammo, here we go again. But
well,
buddy,
we're
You know
settling
what,
in.
Rusty? I'm gonna ask God to send you a pair of aces. That's all I can do, man.
I could use a pair of aces. But hey, we'll see. I'll probably be okay.
Yeah, take that pair of aces and split them and hope for tens.
Yeah.
Then you get double blackjack in Vegas and you're styling.
If I have to go back to the hospital, so be it. But I'm gonna try to weather the weekend and see how we look. So, but I feel okay when I'm not running fever. So I'm fighting
That's
it
good
with
news.
Tylenol, probably
So, Mike,
overdose Tylenol. But
hey, Mike, after the funeral, you had a skydiving buddy that went in or something?
Plane crash.
oh no,
Oh,
Ouch.
plane crash.
plane crash up around Lansing. So yeah, the last time I talked to you guys, I think I was heading up to Detroit for my nephew's funeral, and while I was
Right.
there,
Yeah.
the day of the funeral, an old skydiving friend of mine was killed in a plane crash. He was flying a Myers. I don't know if you know what a Myers is. It's a low wing, 4-placed airplane. It's it's a 200-mile-an-hour airplane. It goes like stink.
It wasn't a dive plane. It was.
No, it wasn't a skydiving plane. This guy started the drop zone in Michigan that I used to work at back in 1990. He was the original drop zone owner of Napoleon Skydiving Center. He was a world champion skydiver. He'd been on, I mean, he was on the 200 ways and the 300 ways that they did. He was an F-18 pilot in the Navy. When he got out of the Navy after flying F-18s, he opened the drop zone. He got like 300 carrier launches and combat missions over in the Gulf War and all that shit.
Yeah.
And then he went to flying for Northwest Airlines when he landed at Delta after Northwest went defunct. He was an aerobatic pilot. He had a pit special. He used to do air shows and stuff.
That was good. All
The
right.
guy had 7,000 or 8,000 jumps. I mean, he was a world record skydiver on all kinds of stuff. And they did some work on the airplane. They did a test flight. They came down. They did some more work on the airplane because his AMP was with them. His mechanic was with them, who's also an old skydiver from Michigan. And they took Livingston County Airport is where it was, Steve. Do you know?
Okay. Yeah.
Livingston County Airport. They took off. They got to about 300 feet, and the engine quit, and they stalled it and crashed the airplane, and they were both killed.
Couldn't
So,
find a place to glide it in, huh?
no, and it just goes to show you, man. Flip probably had fucking 20,000 hours flying airplanes, man. You know, between all his jet flying in the Navy, flying for Northwest, flying for Delta, flying aerobatic planes, flying jump planes, and he gets killed in his own little private 4-place airplane, man.
Yeah, he's probably trying to stretch the landing out. And with that fast of an airplane, the damn thing's tip stall easy and stuff. And
yeah, that's what they stalled the airplane. He lost the engine and they stalled the airplane. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the bottom.
But the plane did. I seen a picture of the plane after you said something about it. It didn't look that bad.
It didn't look that bad, but the impact must have been just hard enough to, I mean, I'm not going to speculate, but I'm sure it broke their necks when they hit the ground. You know, it was enough to that. So yeah, that was not a fun day. Lose 2 people close to me in 3 days. You know, but
Mike, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I feel for you, man.
Yeah, it's not
Really.
new. I mean, I've lost lots of friends skydiving. Some of them have bounced. Some of them have been killed in canopy collisions. I've lost friends in skydiving plane crashes, where they were on a skydiving plane that crashed. It's just, it kind of goes with the territory, man. When you're involved in that stuff and doing it all the time, it's an odds game. It's a numbers game. Even flying fixed wing aircraft or any kind of recreational aircraft, stuff can go bad in a second. The same way that when you're starting an engine in control line, and if you get careless, you stick your hand through the prop.
Yeah.
It's a repetitive thing. We do the same thing over and over and over, but a little carelessness or a little mechanical screw up, and you're hurt or dead. No one knows why people get picked, but that's what happens. So it was unfortunate. Flip was a good guy. He was a good guy. He was a mentor to me when I started skydiving. He coached me a lot when I first came into the sport because he was very highly experienced. But again, that's what I'm talking. The guy had thousands and thousands and thousands of hours flying military aircraft, stunt planes, and commercial airliners. and he gets killed in a 4-plane low-wing recreational airplane. You know, he wasn't doing anything crazy. He just went to go test his airplane out, and things went bad. You know.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. Yeah. But you know what I'm thinking is, if I would, if there's a way to go, this is the way I would like to go.
not me, buddy. Not like that. No act. I've seen the mangled bodies of people killed in plane crashes. I saw 10 of my friends killed on a King Air in a skydiving airplane, and I've seen what that looks like. I don't want to go like that. I want to go in my sleep, brother. In my
Mm.
sleep after a good night hanging out with my friends or my family and kids. You know,
Hmm.
accidents are they're traumatic, man. The human
Yeah.
body is very frail. I've seen what it looks like when a skydiver goes in and without an open parachute, and it ain't pretty. You know, the human body is frail. It's amazing the shit that we get away with as human beings. You know, the things that we do for extreme sports and, you know, uh, just adrenaline people. You know, that girl, man, that was driving the jet car that got killed the other day. Uh, the Mythbusters girl. What was her name?
Carrie,
Yeah. Yeah,
really?
she was trying to set a land speed record up in Oregon in that F-104 airplane car, the F-104 rocket engine car. She got killed like 3-4 days ago. Yeah,
Oh, I did not hear
I
about
didn't
that.
hear about that either.
she was on Overhauling, and she was on All Girls Garage, and she was on Mythbusters. She'd been on Mythbusters a few times. She
That
was a
was the welder chick, right?
yeah, the older one, the blonde.
The welder.
Was it
She did a
Combs?
lot of welding for him.
Carrie Combs something. God, I've been reading about it for the last 3 days. I should know her name, but yeah, she was the welder chick on Mythbusters, and she
Yeah,
was on Overhauling. She was on All Girls Garage.
she was on
She
that.
had set. She was the fastest woman on Earth. A couple years ago, she set the land speed record, two-way average of 398 miles an hour, and the car is basically an F-104 Starfighter engine. And she was trying to break her own record, and she got killed the other day. You know?
Yeah,
Ouch.
I heard they were going after 400 miles an hour.
Was she
Yeah.
on the
Well,
salt flats?
it's been done. No, she wasn't at the Salt Flats. She was at a dry lake bed in Oregon. There's
Uh,
another place in Oregon where they do it. They've done 512, Steve. The land speed record is 512 miles an
Yeah,
hour.
but she wanted to go because she was less than 400. She wanted to break the 400 as a girl.
Well, she was going for the 500. You know, she
Oh,
was
was
trying
she?
to break.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, going to try to break the world record, but the land speed record is 512. Her best was 398 because it's an average of 2 runs on a
Yeah.
1 month course. They got to do one upwind, one downwind, and they average a 2.
uh,
But yeah, she was they and you know I've looked for crash video and they haven't. None of it's been released yet. It'll probably be a while, you know, out of respect for her, because who knows what went wrong with the car. Something
Hey,
probably
hey
went.
Mike, didn't she break up at like 460 or 470 though?
Well, I hadn't read that yet. I don't know. I hadn't seen that report yet. That it's quite possible. It's quite possible.
Check out the SCTA website, SoCal Timing Association. That's the Salt Flats.
Yeah.
They do all of that land speed record. That's the SCTA.
Yeah.
That's on. It should be on there. I haven't looked yet, but I heard she was like 460, 450 or 460, something like that, when she went in,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
was a
But that's what I'm saying.
devastating tumble.
And I'm sure she had all the best people behind her and the best equipment, and they were trained and doing everything safe as they can. But that's just going back to my earlier point, man. You can still do everything right and end up dead doing some of this stuff, man. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, at 400 miles an hour, what is really safe?
Right. I mean, you can be the best in the world at something, but when you're pushing the margins like that, and experience doesn't count for shit if there's a mechanical problem, the engine quits, or you get a flat tire or something, you get a shimmy or something, you know.
Yeah.
I did it. I did it years ago in a flat bottom boat.
Yeah.
I'm lucky to still be here.
So, I mean, I've got a neighbor, my neighbor Chris, right behind me. They built a car as a high school project, and they set a record with it out at Bonneville, just going 200 miles an hour, 201 miles an hour. You know,
That's fast enough.
it was a small block car, you know, and I forget what I think it was a pickup truck. It was actually like a little Chevy pickup truck because they got a bazillion different classes for that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you can build any kind of car in that class and try to break a record. But he did something with some high school kids over here, and they built a car and took it to Bonneville like 3 years ago, and they beat it by like 2/100ths of a second or something, and you know they got their name in the books for the fastest car in that class. You know.
I can't believe how I was watching a thing on TV about that here a couple weeks ago, and how fast they can get a damn flathead Ford to go was crazy.
Carrie Byron. That was her last name.
Carrie Byron.
Yeah, maybe I'm talking
That's the
about
one that
another
was.
chick from Mythbusters.
That's the
It was.
MythBuster.
No, it wasn't
No.
her that got killed.
It's Combs. It's her last name is Combs.
Okay.
Combs.
Okay. I still know who you're talking about, know what she looks like, but I didn't know that was her name.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike's talking about that strawberry blonde chick that used to weld with the braids in her hair.
Yeah.
That's her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the girl that got eyes.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah.
So you've been doing
She's
any
a darn
flying?
good welder too.
No flying. Well, Canton. We went to Canton, and then, well, I guess Paducah. We went to Paducah. Sam and I flew at Paducah on Sunday, the day I left for Detroit. I took what did I take? Shit, I don't remember. Sam took third in intermediate. I do know that. Sam
Did he
took
get
third.
through his overhead? I mean, his vertical eights?
I'm trying to remember. Oh my god! It was 2 whole weeks ago, Rusty.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I know. Remember, that was his nemesis lately, is the vertical
Yeah.
eight.
Yeah, Mark, we're
don't-
just hoping he didn't turn his vertical eights into a figure 9.
Now he had I seen a picture of him with his airplane that was all together, so it didn't go in.
Yeah, it was in one piece.
No.
That's yeah. That's
He was flying. Okay, he was flying a repaired stunt bot. And
Yeah,
on the
saw
first
that.
flight, the wing folded on him. The wing folded in the overhead eights, and he crashed on his first flight. And then on his second flight, he was flying the Super Spider, Steve. And I don't think you were on that night. We were talking about the Super Spider. I was doing a bunch of work because it was too heavy and mushy when we flew it. So I weighed it.
Yeah.
And I took the motor off. I put a 46 on it. Took the landing gear off and the tail weight off and the tail. And we took 7 ounces off that airplane, off the Super Spider. We got it from 48 ounces to 51 ounces, or my math is wrong. 48 ounces to 41 ounces. We took 7 ounces off it, and we drove to Paducah at 6 o'clock in the morning. He put up a couple flights on it, and it flew great. It flew awesome. On his second flight, I think he crashed in the clover. He came out too low on the clover and bottomed out. He just pancaked it. But he ended up third out of 4 people. He was a little bit better than the other one intermediate guy that was there. So he ended up third out of 4 people. So he was happy with that.
Yeah.
I took first in advanced at Paducah. That's
right.
right.
Yeah, I saw that.
I
Good
took
for you.
Well, in all fairness, it was the only other. There was only one other competitor, and it was Ben Mills. So I was flying a kid. I was flying a teenager. You know.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was.
Have you got that 75 in the air yet?
No.
Or the,
Well,
or the 67? You had 2 airplanes. And you got the one flying, but did you ever get the second one flying?
you're talking to me about the SVs?
Yeah.
Yeah, the gray one broke, man. Remember the elevator came off the gray one in a
Yeah, I
flight?
remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the elevator come off during a practice flight here in Nashville. And then it flew almost the whole tank of gas out, and then the other elevator came off and it augured in and tore the gear off, broke the prop, it tore the airplane, all the shit. So
Oh
that
man.
was the silver. Yeah, I flew that a little bit, and now I'm flying the yellow one. That's the one I've been flying with the 61.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a shitty way to lose a plane.
Yeah, it wasn't my fault. I didn't crash it. It just, like I said,
Yeah.
the elevator departed about right after the reverse wing over. The outboard elevator departed right after the reverse, and I got it
Mhm.
back to level flight, and I flew for 6.5 minutes, and the inboard elevator tore off and totaled the plane, and there wasn't a quarter ounce of fuel left in the tank when I sucked it out. I only
Pete.
had to fly it
Yeah.
for like another 30 seconds, and I would have been able
Yeah.
to land, you know. But
Well,
I-
it was like,
My
I
first SV had a foam elevator, and it was joined at the center with some fiberglass, right? And the fiberglass did crack on the plane, and I had to do a repair on that one. And that's what I think they have a weak spot over there, especially if you do them like out of the 2 pieces and you join the elevator together.
well, like on Samantha's Oriental, I loaned that to Pat to fly at the Nats, and oh no, not nostalgic, classic. So he flew it at home, and he's like, he wants to roll in at us. So we put more tip weight and stuff like that. It's like, okay, it's flying better. He's flying it pretty good. Went to the Nats, and then while he's flying in the contest, he said his first flight went pretty good. The second one, he said the damn thing, he was running back and stuff. He finished his flight, and he said actually got a higher score than his first one. And John Paris said something about half of that elevator flips up and down, when he's flying. They get down in the half the elevator is just flopping. It was only held on by the damn Monaco.
yeah,
Wow.
I believe it. I mean, speaking of Nats, we are just covered up with broken airplanes right now. I got broken shit everywhere from the Nats, from, let me see here. We'll do a little show and tell of broken airplanes. So, broken airplanes, Stuntbot's broken, the Spider's fine. There's a checkmate. He broke that at Canton. That's broken.
That was checkmate, all right.
There's broken combat airplanes from the Nats still sitting there on the workbench. There's more broken airplanes, combat planes from the Nats. Let's see. That one got broke at Canton. He did a test flight on that and broke that one at Canton. There's the other broken stunt bot right there. That's broken from the Nats. There's the spectacular crash from the Nats. That's the one that augured right on the yellow pad. Hang on, here we go. There's the.
Oh no.
That's how good that crash was, man. Right
You
there.
know, I didn't say anything to you, Mike, but I was packing up and stuff, and I didn't see that flight, and I asked him, I said, how'd your last flight go? He said, not so good. He goes, I forget, something happened. The lines hooked up or something. But he goes, it hit so hard. He goes, the piston was hanging out of it. And how he said it was just funny and shit.
I mean, if you ever
The
want
piston out of it or something.
if you ever want to see the inside of a KMB 28,
There
that
you
part
have
stayed
it.
on the airplane, and then this part departed. And yeah, the piston and rod came out and were laying like 30 feet away.
Yeah,
Oh, jeez.
he was just the one concerned. He's flying a kite and telling me about it.
Oh yeah, and then there's another pile of broken combat planes from the Nats. So we got busted shit all over the place, man. And I'm trying to get stuff set up. We got to go to Detroit next. Steve, we'll be in Detroit next weekend. You and Dick ought to come down to the Rouge, man. The state meet is at Rouge Park next weekend. Sam and I will get there. We won't be flying Friday. We're going to get in late Friday night, but then we'll be at the field early Saturday morning, and they're going to fly. We're going to fly speed limit, half A combat, slow combat, and fast combat on Saturday. We're going to fly all 4 events on Saturday because there'll probably only be like 6 guys, 5, 6 guys, so we can get through it pretty quick. And then
Mike,
around and head back to Nashville on Sunday morning. So they'll fly F2D and F2D fast on Sunday, but we won't stick around for that.
We got everybody coming to Pat's house for a cookout and fly-in.
On the 7th?
Yeah, otherwise we would.
Damn it.
Hey, Mike, what are you flying for fast combat?
Nelson 36s.
Everybody's still flying Nelsons, huh?
Everybody's flying Nellies on a bladder. Yeah. The new Forest came out. They got a new 436. They just made a run of them. I think they made 100 motors of the 436, which they made the 4s, 10, 15 years ago. But they had a pretty weak crank in them. It was a lot smaller than the Nelsons, and it wasn't beefy. And they were throwing cranks like crazy, and everybody was breaking them when you stuff them in. So they just made another 100 brand new 4s, and they redesigned them and made them beefier. And a few of them debuted at the Bladder Grabber 2 weeks ago. There was a few guys flying 4, but the Nelson is still top dog. The Nelly's still top dog in fast combat. Nothing beats a Nelson 36, man.
I had a Nelson for a long time, and I ended up buying was it a Fox? It was a Mark 7, I think it was. I think that was the last combat special Duke put out.
Yeah.
And I ended up waiting like 6 months for the motor. And I finally got it in the mail, and I was all jazzed. And I'm like, yeah, I can fire this thing up. Back pedal was fired right up. Thing ran like crazy. It was just like, yeah, this thing's gonna fly. Threw it in the air. It ran 115. Like, okay.
Yeah, well, the Mark 7s, especially with a Brasher crank in them and stuff, they're 90% of a Nelson, but they're still not a Nelson. A Mark 7 can, you can get 115 out of them, but you're not getting 125 out of a Mark 7.
I got 115. I got 115 out of my Mark 7 4 times.
Yeah, I believe it. And and in a fast combat match, a Mark 7 could be competitive with the Nelson. It's just the pilot.
Yeah.
If you can
4
fly
times,
you could still win.
Yeah, 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Mark 7 lasted 4 matches. My Nelson lasted. Oh shit! I still got my Nelson. I don't know how good it is anymore. It's still wrapped in a plastic bag because it's been probably 20 years since it's been lit.
How long do you think how many flights do you think you have on it?
6.
Yeah, it's worth $350, man.
Do you want to buy it?
Man, I got 7 already.
I'll tell you what. Throw me 200. It's yours.
Email me some pictures, man. Can you email me some pictures?
I don't have your email, but can I do it through Stunt Hangar?
Yeah. You can just find me on
Or
Stunt.
you know what? I have Rusty's email. Can I just like have him forward it? That'd be okay.
Yeah, I'll
with him?
forward it to you.
But I mean, my email address is listed on Stunthanger. If you go into members and you look my name up, Mike Lonke, you can do that and send me an email, or you can send me a personal message through Stunthanger,
Okay.
and we can get it sorted out. I mean, you know, if it's that low time, 200 is definitely
I
a more than fair price. I
I
think
know
you.
I know for a fact that my Nelson has 6 runs on it, and it's only on 15%. It's never been flown in a match,
Oh man,
so
15%. You got to throw like 40 at them, man, to make them happy.
that's what I heard, and I was afraid
Well,
to do it.
37 is what we're running. 37%.
I was an 80-mile-an-hour guy when I was flying combat,
I got you.
and I got that Nelson, and that thing. The guy that was bidding for me says I'm a Nelson guy. This is what you want to do, and I started at 10%, and I flew it, and it was almost too fast for me.
Yeah, they'll
And
run
I'm
on
like,
10.
and I finally got up to, I think it was 15, maybe 17%. I flew it 6 times. And then my wife and I got booted out of the house we were renting. We put everything in storage. We moved into an apartment, and then we bought the house we're in now. That was 20 years ago.
Okay. Well, I mean, if it's in good shape and it's not burned out, I'd be more than happy to pay $200 for it. I don't
I'll
really
tell you
need
what.
one.
I'll
I
tell you
don't
what,
really need
Mike.
another one. I've got 7 already. I've got 7 Nelsons, but I do have Sam coming up, and he'll be flying fast combat here in a couple years. So
I'll make you
we'll
a
be
deal.
going.
I'll tell you what. Let me find it. I'll look up your email. I'll send you a private. I'll get your address. I'll mail it to you. You check it out. You fire it up. You fly it. You run it. See if you like it. If you do, send me 2 Fox 35s and we'll call it even.
Oh no, I couldn't do that. No. I'd rather send you $200 than 2 Fox 35s, man.
I know, no shit. Fox 35s are too hard to get now.
Well, no, I mean, I've got a brand new silver case Fox 35 here. I could send
You
you
can
if you're
keep that
really
one.
wanting one. But I don't think that's a fair deal. I think you're getting the short end of the stick there, buddy. So
I don't care about that.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to you. I mean,
You
I'd
send
make
me
it
3.
equitable. I'd make it equitable for you. You know.
Okay,
Sure.
then send me 3.
Okay. Well, give me some pictures. You can send me the motor, and anybody here will tell you, I'm a stand-up guy, man. If you send me the motor, we'll work out a deal, or I'll pay, or I'll send it back to you, or whatever. You don't have to worry about that.
I've seen you on Stunt Hangar long enough. I trust you.
Okay.
It wouldn't matter to me.
Well, I
If
think I
you
have a good reputation. I wouldn't screw you.
if you decided you didn't want it, you just mail it back to me.
Absolutely, I would.
Yeah,
100%.
I trust you like that. That's not a big deal.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I appreciate it. If you're not going to use it, it's very sad. It's a very sad engine right now. It's not very happy if it's not being used, man. It's
Right.
crying. It's crying.
I also have 2 Mark IVs if you want something for Sam.
I've got 4 Mark IVs here already. 2 of them are on airplanes, and I got 2 new ones in the box.
Yeah, but I've got I got 4. I think I might have 5. I know I have 4 cranks. I have a stock of head gaskets, head shims.
Man, you need to get a hold of Jimmy Welch, man. Jim Welch in Virginia. He loves all that Fox stuff, man. Especially the combat motors. Jim Welch,
Really?
he's on the forums. Yeah, he Mark threes, Mark fours, Mark fives, Mark sixes, Mark seven. He's a collector of all that stuff. I don't run any of the vintage Foxes really. I mean, I got a Mark IV on my Nemesis, and then I got a Mark IV on a sneaker. You know, just for
Love that
old
sneaker.
sake,
That was a great airplane.
just for old time's sake and messing around. But they're not competitive anymore in fast combat. They're just really for going out and farting around and I
I
have
flew
plenty of.
mine. I flew mine in speed limit.
Hey, we
Oh
got
yeah,
Al Ferraro just chipped in a comment on YouTube. He says, "Mike, if you don't take it, I'll give you 200. I'll give him $200 for it." So,
yeah. I know. Al's in there. He's watching. No, he's gonna send it to me, and then I'll take a peek at it, and we'll see. But Al, if I don't need it, um,
Forward it to Alan. Let him send me some cash. I don't care.
yeah, but you can send it to me, and I'll take a peek, man, for sure.
Okay. Let me dig it up and make sure it's even worth sending.
Yeah. All right.
Like I said, it's been 20 years since that thing's even been flipped.
yeah, they held up pretty good.
Yeah.
Might be a little stiff, but it'll run.
I'll worst case scenario, I'll just send it back to Henry and have him go through it, and Henry will send it back, and I'll send it up to Detroit to Ron Colombo and Mark Warwashana.
Oh,
Marky will
Henry
do a
Nelson.
little, yeah, Henry Nelson.
Henry
Yeah.
Nelson's the one that handed me that motor when I bought it from him in 1996, I think.
Yeah, I sent
Wow.
all I well not all I sent 6 of my Nelsons to Henry last year with Ron Colombo, and they went through them and put bearings in all of them and refreshed them and checked everything. The only one I didn't send is the Nelson 36 that I have that's brand new in the bag, never been run. There was no point to send that one, but I sent all my fast combat motors to Henry last year, and he fluffed them up for me.
I know that
I'd
thing's
have to
got
tell
a
you what,
that thing's
Henry's a
got a
good guy, man. He didn't
Henry's a
he didn't
great
charge
dude.
me he didn't charge me anything except the price of the bearings. I think it
That
was
thing's got a
$30.
front bearing. That thing's got a front bearing the size of a big block Chevy too.
Yeah, they're pretty big.
Is it ball
But
bearing?
I think I paid
Yeah,
$30 an engine to have all the bearings replaced, and it was just the cost of the bearings.
that's pretty good. He must use Bocas.
That's who I get bearings from.
I get Boca bearings too. I get Bocas or I get LA bearing. I got a bearing shop not too far from me that they'll match anything.
Hey, Rusty, I want to shout out to Al Ferraro if he's still out there listening. So, Al, I saw your dragster on Facebook. I saw your other hot rod that you fired up the other day. Who knew
Yeah, me too.
I need to go
Yeah,
take a look at that.
that thing was cool as hell. So, like last month, he busted out one race car. He was running around the neighborhood there. And then a week or two ago, I saw like a yellow dragster or something that is his as well. Al, I didn't know you were a famous NRHRA hot rod guy, man.
Yeah,
NHRA.
that was new to all of us too, and
Yeah.
we were just having a hot rod conversation, and he chimes in with some serious equipment, and
Yeah, Al got some.
it's all naturally aspirated too. He doesn't spin up turbos or superchargers or nitrous or anything. It's all motor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
but he's
got
a
some cool.
Dodge guy. He's a Dodge guy, not a Chevy guy.
Hemi.
You know how that works.
Well, to me, it doesn't really matter what kind of guy he is. He's got some cool ass dragsters, man.
No shit.
I wouldn't split hairs on what motors he's running, man. He's got the stuff and he raced it. So that's hats off to that, man. Kudos there.
Hey, as long as he can keep it rubber side down, it's all good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, if any of you guys, I wanted to talk to Sparky, but I probably have to call him. You guys built Lost Foam Wing?
You know who's building a Lost Foam Wing now? Is Charles. Charles Carter's building a Lost Foamer.
Hey, Charles, are you there?
Is that the empty video feed there? Is that Charles?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like Charles' garage.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen this.
Yeah, that's Charles. Empty. No person in the video, but his garage is in there.
Yeah, he'll be
Hey,
back in a
Steve?
minute.
Steve, I'm gonna go grab Sam. He wants to talk to you.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm gonna step away for a second too. Y'all don't burn the house down while I'm gone. I'll be right
Oh,
back.
right.
we're gonna set fire to it.
We'll just talk funny things about you.
Yeah. We'll talk about everybody who was gone.
Do you guys know anybody who might be interested in Strega with a Rojet 65 tune pipe header ready to go?
Talk to the Invisible Man. Charles is all over Stregas.
Or do you have
Charles
one,
got-
or
Yeah, I do.
when did you get that? Or do you have it for a while?
I have it for a while now, and I haven't flown it in such a long time that the motor, it's basically brand new. It's a Richard Oliver motor at 65, and it was sent to Richard Oliver to be reworked after like 700 flights on it or something like that. And he's got a new, basically the guts inside of it are brand new.
Yeah.
So it's virtually a new motor with maybe 10 flights on it, if that. So
What's the motor in it, Train?
a Rojet 65.
Was it Rojet? That's
Yeah.
too big for me. I'm not big enough to fly that airplane.
What do you mean not too big enough?
I only weigh 97 pounds.
Okay.
Damn.
My Strega walks me around a circle like a big dog.
Hey, I'm gonna interrupt here for a second. Tryon, I just realized, and I wanted to say this earlier. Hurricane Dorian, which is your real name, is coming to kick your ass in Florida, man. Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick
Is
their
your
ass
first
over
name
there.
really
It
Dorian,
says it may be
right?
coming into Georgia too.
Nah, not really.
Not really. What?
Maybe on Savannah on a coastline,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
but
But
not here.
your Christian name, your birth name is Dorian, right? Is your first name, right?
No A in it.
Oh, it's Dorin.
Yeah, Doran.
Okay.
Now,
All right.
then what's Tryon then? Is that your middle name?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's actually my first name.
Tryon is your first name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Doran,
Well, that screwed up.
Doran
my whole
is your
joke
middle
then.
name.
Yeah.
That screwed up my whole joke because I thought Hurricane Dorian was coming to see you in Florida.
Still a nice joke.
Yeah, I told him the first governor of, I think it was North Carolina, his name was Doran.
Mm.
I thought that was kind of unique.
Mm-hmm.
It was on the History Channel about something they're talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know
So
I've
same
asked you this
coming out, or
yeah, in a minute. I know I've asked you this before, Tryon, but what country are you from?
Romania.
Romania. That's what I thought. Okay. You're Eastern European.
Nadia Comaneci, wasn't she? Was that the one that was from Romania?
Yes.
Yeah, it was so good. That was
She was awesome. I was a kid, man, but I remember her killing it in the Olympics, man, in the 76 Olympics, right?
Something like that.
yeah.
I think it was the 76 Olympics. Yeah.
Wasn't she
Nadia
the
Comaneci.
first one to get a perfect score on the beams or something
Oh, that was Olga Corbett.
Oh.
Olga Corbett in the 76 Olympics got all 10s.
Mhm.
Wow. How do I know that? I just remember that.
Mike, you are a walking encyclopedia of useless information.
Was Nadia before her?
That's called a veritable cesspool of knowledge.
No, they
Well,
were at
that'll
the
work.
same time, Steve. They were at the same time.
No, it's not true. It can be true because Nadia took everything. She took the gold on just about everything over there,
Yeah.
Nadia
and
Alright,
no way,
Comaneci
no
was-
way the other chick beat her. Maybe a
Maybe.
year after, but no, Nadia was the first one to score a perfect 10 or something. Well,
they
actually,
were
two
one.
somethings.
They were one set of Olympics apart. I thought.
Yeah, I
Right.
thought Nadia was the first one to ever score a perfect 10, and it was on the uneven bars or something. And then after that, a lot of them got perfect,
Yeah,
perfect
I
10
don't know.
other things.
and
I think one
actually,
of
her
them was
trainer, who is
1972.
Bella Caroli, he is actually the trainer of the U.S. Olympic team right now.
Yeah, Bella. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
you can watch for Emma Lonke in 10 years because she's a gymnast now. She's just learning, but she'll be there. We'll see.
All right.
Hopefully.
Well, we're
Al just
looking for.
some more information about his car. Going back to when we were talking about the color, he said it's candy apple red and 540 cubic inch big block Chevy.
Why did I think it was yellow? I swear I saw yellow in that thing when I watched the video.
I don't know.
That's because it was going too fast, Mike.
It was the Doppler effect.
There
Damn.
you go.
540. I mean, that's a lot of cubic inches.
Yeah, you can get crate engines with over 900 cubic inches. I mean, they put some awful big cubic inches out there.
What is it? That one is what, a 545 or something like that, I think. Chevy makes that crate motor.
I don't
That's a
know. Does
small
Chevy
block.
even make crate motors? I don't know who makes crate motors.
Yeah,
Is
Chevy
there-
does.
Is there such a thing as a 570? Is that something?
I have never heard of it.
Probably.
There probably is,
Well,
but yeah.
The same guy I was telling you about that did the salt flat thing. He's got a 1947 Jaguar with it's over a 550, but it's not 600. I want to say he told me it was a 570.
Yeah.
47 Jag, 4-door.
One of the guys on the Street Outlaws has a 72, a blue 72 Monte Carlo with over 900 cubic inches.
Whew.
And he's always blowing something up on it.
That's a junkyard motor, though. It's too big. It won't hold itself together.
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah, no
seen that
kidding.
thing
I
make
mean,
a full
you'd have to
pass.
you'd have to make a custom crankshaft for it and custom rods, I guess.
Can you
And
imagine the stroke on that motor would be a foot?
holy shit, would it? Yeah, I guess it would.
That's why it doesn't hold together. It got piston speed that is just crazy.
Yeah, well, it's a long stroke too.
And the rod angle is probably horrible.
Yeah, I'm surprised he can fit it under his hood. He's probably cut everything out from in there. But and he runs it on nitrous too.
There's a smart
Hey,
thing to
Sam.
do.
Hey,
Oh, hey Sambo, what's going on?
How's school going?
good?
You beating all the girls off with a stick?
No.
No.
About that kit, I would like a profile oriental.
Good choice.
You don't want a full body Oriental?
I don't think I can handle a full battery one.
Why would you say that?
Why? It's better.
Besides that, if you hit the ground with a full body, you got a lot of fixing on your hands. They're hard to put back together,
The
right?
way he hits the ground, I could make that thing out of a 2x4, and it ain't gonna be worth anything. Sam can really, when he does it, boy, he does it good. There ain't no kind of, sort of.
That's
He
Well,
like,
goes,
and it ain't gonna matter if it's a profile or a built up. Just build the best you
Well,
can.
we were thinking a profile would be a little bit easier on you, Steve, than a full body.
yeah,
I agree.
it
That's
does,
why I still have profiles.
yeah. They're a little easier to adjust, but I'll put a door in it so you can adjust the tail and all that kind of stuff. I'll do it upright.
Okay, he's gonna get back to you on what? Colors and trim, right?
Yeah.
Say it.
Colors and trim.
You got to think about that.
The colors.
He's got to think about colors and trim. Yeah, but Oriental is what he wants.
I love Orientals.
Now
Mine
here,
fit really
here's
well.
the other thing is too now. I can do the wing and I can cut, if it's a profile, I can do a built-up profile. Have all the pieces cut, everything ready to put together, and get it to you this winter. And if you glue the fuselage together and cover it, it's BOM legal. And I can do all the other work. So that's another thought. But I'll do it all. That's not a problem. But I was thinking about that.
Yeah, we could do BOM. You know,
That sounds like a good idea.
You know, if I get I'll get all the pieces cut and shaped and sanded, and it'll all be jigged up so it'll all just fit together. Set it on a bench and glue the fuselage together and throw some monocoat on it and stuff, and it'll be BOM legal. Otherwise, I can paint one for you or whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter.
okay. I mean, for his BOM stuff, we're really doing a lot of the foam wing stuff just because it's easy for him to paint and cover, and it's a lot simpler and quicker for us, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's, with the profile, you can just spray the fuselage, slide it up, cover the wing, slide it on the wing, glue it in place, and there you go too. But it's all up to you guys. I just, want a plane that, that he really wants. And next year's going to be a whole new year, and he ain't crashing no more. So I know that's already done. And something
Let's
he can
hope
really
so.
fly. But I'll build you whatever you want.
Let's hope so. That crashing is done, right?
Yeah.
from what I saw, crashing was mostly because the engine were quitting in a worst possible spots. So
Yeah.
it's not exactly he's flying.
No.
Well, it's just because he's 10 years old, and that's why. Tomorrow he's 11. So now that he's double
All right.
Holy cow! Yep. So
Happy
no
birthday,
crashes
Sam.
after they're 10.
no crashing after 10, right? Isn't that the
No.
cutoff for crashing?
Ah,
Yeah, he
Happy
turns 11
birthday.
tomorrow morning. So, tonight at midnight he turns 11. So
Happy
no more
birthday,
crashing.
Sam.
hey Sam, if you stay awake another half an hour, 36 minutes to be exact, we can tell you happy birthday.
Yeah,
It's an
no
hour and
presents.
36 over there.
No birthday presents tonight. Nothing tonight.
Oh man, that is so
Wait.
mean.
He's got to wait. We got family coming in, and we're gonna go spend the day on the boat tomorrow. He wants a boating day birthday. We're gonna go to the marina, have a nice dinner, and tell him what you're gonna learn how to do tomorrow.
Water ski.
I figured
Gonna
that's
learn how to
awesome.
walk. He's mastered the knee board. Of course, he knows how to go tubing and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, and he knows how to knee board, ride on the knee board. But I've got a pair of trainer water skis that we've just been itching to get out, and I think tomorrow's going to be the day. So if any of y'all are friends of mine on Facebook, you might see Sam water skiing for the first time tomorrow.
All right.
That's totally awesome.
You know what? A horrible way to spend your birthday. I mean, I'm not sure how would I
I
just
know.
handle
Spend
that kind
the
of
day
a
out
thing,
there. We're gonna have beautiful weather.
Water
It's gonna
skiing
be
on
like
my birthday.
88 degrees, no rain. It's going to be a perfect day. No
What a
wind.
crap day to do.
I know. On the boat.
Yep.
Horrible.
My first time water skiing was in the Salt Marsh Creek behind Pawleys Island, and we were we had a John boat with a 9.9 horsepower engine, and I think the tide was probably moving 15 miles an hour, and the boat was barely creeping forward. But I weighed about as much as Sam did probably about that time, and I got right up the first time, and I was just crapped along against the tide. It's like a plane into a heavy wind. You know,
Yeah.
with the wind blowing faster than the airspeed of the plane, you'll stay up there even if you're standing still.
Don't tell Steve, you'll get back to it.
Hey, Sam, when you're ready to slalom, you let me know and I'll give you some tips. I helped a lot of people learn how to slalom ski.
I've never slalomed before. I don't
It's
think
real-
I have.
He doesn't know what that is.
I ski on one ski.
We're just hoping he can get up on the skis tomorrow, you know?
Yeah.
We'll
Sam,
see.
best of luck to you. Have a good time and enjoy the crap out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Dito.
Yeah, just have somebody lift his butt up for him.
Say what?
It's fine. They're trainer skis, so they'll be fine. They're training skis. Should be
Are
pretty
you gonna
easy.
tie this? Are you gonna tie the skis to the boat?
No, since they're trainer skis, there's a handle, so an adult on the boat will be holding the handle. So when he goes down, you can let go. You know what I mean?
That's good. Yeah, because if you tie the skis to the boat, it's kind of a disadvantage.
Yeah. No, it's
Well,
they're
beginners
trainer
tend
skis.
to hold on to the handle when they fall and then get drug along through the water. So,
Right.
yeah.
So when he goes down, we're gonna drop the handle and then come back and pick him up.
Yeah.
But he's not going down. He's gonna get up, and I'm gonna drag him around the lake at a whopping 23 miles an hour behind the boat.
Yeah, when I learned how to ski, the rope was hitched to the flat bottom boat that my dad had. So when I didn't make it, I ended up like doing the face wave through the water. You know how that goes. It rolls your eyelids back in a whole bit.
Yeah, you got to remember to let go, man. That's the thing.
I wasn't that smart.
So what are trainer skis, Mike? How are they different than a regular?
They're wide and short.
Okay. Well,
Flat bottom.
go ahead. Yeah, well, they're tied together, first of all.
Oh,
Both skis, there's a bar that goes across the front. And
Oh,
they're
okay.
locked together.
oh, okay.
And then the handle that they hold is tied to the front of that bar. And then the rope goes from that bar to the boat where another adult is holding another handle. So they're not actually pulling themselves up with their handle.
Oh, okay.
The skis are tied to the handle that the adult is holding.
Oh, okay.
It's not, there's
Then
no,
he's got another rope that he's just holding onto a rope then. That's tied back down to the skis.
It's not-
I've never seen that.
You've never seen that?
Mm.
It's not a single rope.
Basically, it's a deep water start wakeboard
Yeah,
to a certain extent.
the skis are tied together,
Yeah.
and then the rope is tied to the ski, and then there's a short rope like 2 feet long that does have a handle that they hold on to, but they're not.
Yeah.
That handle is tied to the skis just for them to balance.
Yeah.
So when they get pulled up out of the water, it's just like a kneeboard or anything else. It's being pulled up because it's tied to the skis. And then they just got to stand up and learn how to balance and hold that rope. And that's
Okay,
why when
Mike,
they go down,
I've taught
just let go.
Mike. I've taught a lot of people how to water ski in my day, and the skis together with the bar is not a bad idea. But after Sam learns how to stand up on them, take the bar off between them and tie them together with a piece of rope.
Yeah.
That way,
Yeah.
that way the skis will move independent
Yeah.
instead of like a barn door.
But it'll limit him from doing a split if he gets too out of shape. Yeah.
Right, and that's what this bar does. It keeps the skis from one going left, one going right. And it
Yeah.
just teaches them how to sit in the water, get pulled up, and stand up and have the right position.
Yeah, the bar
And
is
then
just to stop it from doing the human helicopter in the water.
exactly, that's all it is.
Yeah,
But because I mean,
but
I
as soon
plan
as
on getting
he learns to get up,
I plan on
as
getting
soon
my
as he
daughter
learns to
on.
get up,
I
take
plan
that
on
bar
getting
off.
I plan on getting Emma up on him too. My 9-year-old, she's gonna get up on him too tomorrow. So, but they need the bar, man.
Cool.
They need the bar. They don't have
Oh,
the
yeah,
leg strength to keep the skis together, on the pull up. So
Yeah.
that's what they're for. They're trainer skis,
yeah, but as soon as they learn to stand up on the water, get rid of that bar and tie them together with a rope.
Yeah.
Because then they'll at least have some control.
Yep.
Hey
Yeah,
guys,
especially,
I'm gonna go to bed.
especially if
All right.
you decide to step over the way. Good night, Troy.
Yeah.
Ryan,
Drop
are you going?
Trying.
See you later, Hurricane.
See you
Are
later.
you going to King Orange? Are you going to be at King Orange? Trying.
He's gone.
He already left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where Charles went.
It looks like Mike disconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Mike probably got tired of me telling him what to do.
There comes Mike.
Oh,
I
he's
didn't mean
back.
to hang. I hung up by accident. Sorry, guys.
That's
No
all right.
worries.
When is King Orange in December?
No, it's like in 2 weeks. It's the
Yeah,
weekend
they
after
changed.
next. It's the weekend after Detroit, Steve. It's the weekend after you're flying at Pat's.
Oh, they moved it then.
Yes, they did. And I
Oh,
looked
okay.
today. Uh, it's 8.5 hours. It's the same drive for me as going to Detroit. It's 540 miles for me to go to King Orange. It's 550 for me to go to Detroit. So
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Ron Waldron called me the other day to see if Sam and I were coming, and he was like, he really wants us to come, and he's like, if you come, you can sleep in my hangar. Just bring some sleeping bags. You can stay in my hangar, and we got showers and a toilet and everything you need. You don't need to get a hotel room. So I'm thinking we're going to King Orange the weekend after Detroit.
Is it still there by Jacksonville?
No, it's in
Mary's.
it's closer than Jacksonville. It's not on the coast. It's right off I-75. Just right in Florida. Like you come into Florida and then it's right off I-75. It's not Jacksonville. I think it's at Ron Waldron's place.
I
at
think
his
it is
house.
too. They
At
call
his
it the
airport.
Ron Waldron Memorial, or maybe
Yeah.
not Memorial Field.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
at he's got a private strip and it's at his place.
Yeah, it's right outside of Jackson. It's about, I think it's like 20 miles outside of Jacksonville.
No, it's not close to Jacksonville at all. They moved it, Steve. It's not. Ron's place is not in Jacksonville. It's starts with an A. Alton or Alton or Altoon or
I'd have to look.
something.
I'd have to
just
look
Googled
through
it.
the.
I'll have to look because it used to be held about 40 miles from where my dad was born and raised.
I'll tell you in a
It's not on
second.
not on the Navy base anymore because I know that was a deal.
No, I know
it.
It has been the last 2 years just outside of Jacksonville.
No, it's not.
Y'all hang on. I'm going to tell you the exact address and everything in just a second. I'm on the Metrolina website. King Orange International, September 13th, 14th, 15th, 18, 213, 73rd place, McAlpin, Florida, 32062. Wherever McAlpin, Florida is. And let's see if there's
I knew it was Al something. Got those
Yeah,
wrong.
it's McAlpin. Yeah, MCALPIN.
That's east of the 605. That's too far for me to go.
It's west of 75 too, isn't it, Rusty, on the map?
I don't see a map.
There's a map.
Let's see.
Well, the worst part about it is, Mike, the 605 freeway is 20 minutes east of the Pacific Ocean. And if it's past the 605, I really don't want to go there.
We're talking about Florida.
Oh, that's way east of the 605.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The flyer I'm looking at does not have a map on it.
Hey, Mike, there's a contest in Vegas in November.
I know.
Hey, this is cool. Let me show y'all if I can get it to show Roger Altizer's new plane, the Belfry bound. Let's see, where are we now? Let me get my window back. Screen share. Come on, screen share. Okay. I want the application window. And I don't know if I can get it to show off the browser or not. Let's see what pops up when I do this.
Oh no shit. Hell, that's even closer to where my dad grew up as a kid.
Where am I?
Right now, I'm looking at Steve Hines.
Yeah, I'm trying to find myself. I've gotten
Now I'm
hit.
looking at me.
My scroll bar doesn't work on the little film strip. Oh well. I'll save it to the desktop and show it later. I'll start sharing now. That ain't working.
Yeah, it's not too far from Live Oak or from Fort White and stuff like that. Lake City. I got cousins that live in all of them places. Oh yeah, that's a nice area there. There's Charles.
Charles, where you been, man?
I've been eating.
Hey, Charles, how you doing, brother?
Hey, doing well. How are you, brother?
All right. How's your plane coming?
It's coming.
You have any of the ribs done yet?
Yeah, the ribs are all done.
Now you did the lost foam on them?
No, I did the buy an arc.
Oh shit. Have
So you're
you
building a
ever made a
fuselage,
lost
right?
What do you got a lost foam wing of?
I have of the Thundergazer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I want to know how much you cut out of the middle, because I got some ribs cut and everything, and I got the notches in it for the spar, but I don't know how much to take out of the center of it.
You know Bob Hunt. He'll tell you exactly how to do it. He'll tell you so much information that you'll be convinced it's worth it if he does it for you.
What really pisses me off is I bought his video,
right?
And I can't find it.
Really?
Am I sharing that picture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Roger Altizer's new old-time stunt plane. It's called Belfry bound, as in bats in the belfry, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. I think
that's pretty cool.
Tom Lay had one, I think. Didn't he have one? Tom Lay?
That's an old time, I believe.
That's right. It is old time. That's what Mike likes to fly.
Yeah.
Roger, I mean, not Mike. I think that's cool as hell, but it doesn't look like it would. It looks like it might be a funny flying plane, but who the hell knows? With the shadow, at first I thought it was a biplane, but it's just a shadow behind it. It's pretty cool.
Right.
I don't know. Hell, I bet it flies pretty good.
Mike, Roger builds nice planes.
It's short couple.
Yeah, what? Did you call me? Were you asking for me, Russ? Say Mike?
No, I accidentally said Mike when I was talking about Roger.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to know what I did with that. I got the one on the that other type of wing that shit, I can't think of that kind of wing either now.
Hey, Steve, when you're talking about the thickness of the rib, are you talking about how much meat you leave
It- yeah.
while you cut out for the lead outs?
Yep.
Well, it depends on the plane I'm building. If I'm building something 35 or 40 size, I try not to cut out any more than 3/16. I try to leave the thickness on the outside 3/16 or better. And
Oh,
if it's a 15 or smaller, sometimes I'll cut them down to an 8.
okay.
But
Yeah,
then again, my planes sometimes don't last very long.
this is a Usama
I
wing.
have no idea what that is.
It's a
I've heard of that.
it's a stunt. It was the first part of the stunt machine line. It's actually called it the stunt machine, but then Bob named it Usama because he had USA AMA written on the wing, and he was like, "What in the hell is a Usama?"
Okay.
But
Well, when you cut your wing ribs, how do you cut them? Do you use a plastic template and cut your ribs to size?
now
And then,
I'll show you what it is.
Somebody playing the desktop drum set.
That's what it sounds like.
must be.
Oh, yeah, I play a pretty mean bar table.
I play a pretty mean air guitar.
Oh, hell yeah, I do too. I sprained my feet jumping off of my air amp one night at the end of Living, Loving, Made.
I think I sprained my wrist to rock and roll. I love Zeppelin. That's
Yeah,
one of my favorite bands.
oh yeah. I watched a YouTube video about why John Bonham was such a great drummer, and the guy was capable of some moves that it's hard to believe that any
Yeah,
drummer can do.
he had 3 feet. He had 3 legs, Rusty.
That's right. He
He had
plays
third,
triplets with
he had a
his
third foot,
damn.
man.
He has 3 feet. I think he has a third arm too, doesn't he, Mike?
Okay,
He must. He plays triplets with his damn bass pedal.
On a single bass.
Yeah, I guess it's a single bass.
okay, Jeff. On a lost foam, Bob Hunt cuts. Let me get so I can see if I'm holding it up.
Okay, that's a section.
Right. So, oh damn it! Stepped on the rib. We're 16. So I just basically trace around this on a piece of balsa. Then you pin it in place, and then you sand it to shape.
That's too much work.
It's so fast,
It's easy and fast. Yeah.
and it's 100% perfect. And then Bob has it all marked for the mark to cut your
Spars.
spars. And you do that, and then you put your lightning holes in it, and you add a little brace across here. And then I know it's all cut out back in here, and then they put another brace back in that part of it. But
Why don't you just cut rib strips and do it like the Millennial wing that Sparky showed?
because you can't hinge it with regular hinges. I did a millennial wing, and you can't
Then don't use
hinge it.
regular hinges. Use Sparky hinges. They work great.
There's nothing to hook the hinges in on a millennial wing.
Yeah, I
Glue a block in it.
You hear me?
Your
Yeah.
millennial wing is going to come out so light, it's not going to matter.
Basically, this turns into like a millennial wing. And you build it inside of a cradle. Everything is put inside the cradle, pinned in place, glued. It's got a piece of molded cap that goes on here. That's put in back in there and glued in place. So when you're all said and done, there's no way to warp the wing or anything.
Did you ever watch the Bill Werwidge I-beam build?
Right. That's the one I got on the I-beam. And this is
That's a
what they
great build.
right.
It's
And this
so
is what they
easy to
came
do.
up with that's is strong and is light but straighter. Billy and Bob is the one that came up with this lost foam. That's how he does all of his wings now.
Yeah, I know. Years ago when I was flying with Tom Warden, after they came up with that lost foam, Tom Warden tried it one time, and he went back to the I-beam. He says, no, the I-beam is the way to go, but lose the half ribs and sheet the leading edge.
Well, we were talking about that a couple weeks ago, and I-beams are only good for a certain span,
Unless you sheet the leading edge.
and then they, and then they break, or they can break. So,
No, actually, if you sheet the leading edge of an I-beam wing,
Right. Cool.
it's 10 times stronger than a D-tube. You could almost put it on sawhorses and stand on it. At least I could. I only weigh 100 pounds.
when you get done with this wing, it's like
Mhm.
it's more or less like an I-beam wing. Because it has the bracing in it, it has all the webbing in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's what Samantha's airplane is. The one we took. This one here. We took to France. That's a lost foam wing.
Is that a sheeted leading edge like a D-tube?
Yep.
How thick is the center spar? Is it full thickness? And how wide is the spar?
It's two 16th-inch spars that you glue together.
Tip to tip?
Yeah, all the way down.
Does it follow the shape of the leading edge or is it straight across?
It follows the shape of the leading edge. Comes to a point, kind of.
So it has a V in it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the glue would add a lot of strength. Are the ribs slotted into it?
Into
Looks
what?
like it.
The spar, the center spar, are the ribs slotted in or are they butted in?
The center
that's-
spar looks just like that right there.
They probably got, it doesn't have a fish mouth on the lead edge, does it?
No,
Okay,
because you got a buck, and you form the balsa wood when it covers. It covers up to here, and it's a molded front buck that goes on,
Yeah, I got that.
and that ties it all together.
But you have a wide open spar from tip to tip. There's no center structure in the spar.
Yeah, it looks just like this.
Yeah, all the way through, tip to
Yep.
tip. It looks just like all the ribs are just like that. Some are longer than others, but yeah.
Right, and I'm going to cut this out, but I don't know how much I have to cut out.
On that rib, personally, what I would do, I would leave probably a 1/4 inch of material on the outside and cut everything out of the inside. And then where the spar is, I would leave it at 3/8 or a 1/2 inch wide. Probably closer to 3/8 to save the weight.
Where the spar is, it takes a doubler that goes in between there.
Yeah, well, that's underneath the spar though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter what you cut out of the rib. Leave a little bit of vertical where the rib notch is. Rib notch is a 1/4 inch, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was wondering if anyone else had the video or knew how much of what Bob said to leave every place. So I'll just have to give him a call or Sparky. That's what I was hoping Sparky'd be on.
I know I hand built one airplane that I built for a 15, and I left 1/8 of an inch of 1/16 balsa on the ribs, and it was so hard to build because it kept crumbling in my fingers. So I would leave probably.
Yeah, whatever Bob says, I'll do. He's done thousands of them.
Oh, Bob knows. Bob knows it better than I do.
Yeah, he designed it, him and Billy. So, and I could probably even call.
Well, I know Werwoods uses 1/4 inch strips on his I-beams. All of Werwoods' rib strips are 1/4 inch thick.
Talking about cap strips.
No, it's when he cuts the rib off his template. All of his ribs they're cut out of 1/8 inch balsa, and they're all 1/4 inch, and then he follows his template.
Uh,
And he cuts all the strips, and then he cuts each one to length. It's kind of a lot of trouble to build a wing that way, but it works really good. And they come out light.
Yeah.
And what I've done is I've taken Bill's way of doing it after watching Sparky build on some of his YouTube videos. And instead of cutting rib strips and figuring out how long they need to be, I figure out each pair of ribs, and I'll cut 2, and I'll cut out as much of the middle as I feel is respectable. And then I lay them out on my plan and then put them together in the wing. And normally, when I cut the center out of my rib, I leave anywhere from 3/16 to 1/4 of an inch of material around the outside of it. And the ones I've left at 3/16 have come out really light, but for some reason they have a hard time lasting a long time.
Huh. Okay.
It's probably because I'm not a real good lander.
It's that sudden stop at the end. That sudden stop at the end, Jeff.
Yeah, it's that sudden stop at the end that usually takes them apart.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm a good lander. My planes always land. They've never got stuck up there or anything. So
I can fly the whole damn pattern. But when it comes time to put the wheels in the ground, sometimes the rubber side comes down up. And that's just not right.
Yeah, we've all been there. So, has anybody been following the team trials thread on Stunt Hangar? Looks like they got 11. They got 11 trying for the team, and they're going to pare that down to a 10.
yeah, what I thought was crazy is Joe Gilbert and Rich Oliver said that they weren't going to go. They'd never go again to World Championships, but they're there.
Oh, they're there.
Yeah, I know. And then, but I don't see Chris Rudd on there. Was his name in there?
Chris isn't making it. It was on the thread that Chris Rudd was not going to be there.
I wonder why he decided not to go try out.
I think there was maybe a short explanation, or maybe not, from Dave Tribble, but no, it said Chris was not going to be there. So they got 11, and I guess they got 2 juniors, Stephen Daly and Ben Mills, because Samantha didn't go. And I don't know. They said a possibility of a third junior, but they weren't sure if he was showing up or not. And I didn't see his name in the draw, so the Alamoff kid.
Yeah, I didn't see the I didn't see any of the draw for the juniors.
No, not in the draw. Just it was in the post that there
Did
was
Chris
two
Rudd?
juniors there and possibly a third. It
Did
was in the
Chris
thread.
win? Did he win the last world championship?
No,
He was like fifth, I guess, something like that, wasn't he? I
I
can't
don't know. I
remember.
think sixth or seventh. I don't know where he was at. He might have been fifth.
Steve,
I'm
I
pretty
thought
sure.
Sandy was going to make another run.
Now she just got pissed off at everybody for what they were saying and said, "Nope, I'm done with Pampa."
Who was saying what? What was she? What?
Oh yeah, well. First off, there was a big argument that she was too old to go, and
No, she's not. The rules
Rules, the
say she
rules.
can.
right, the rule said she can, and Randy Smith and everybody was arguing with her there at the Nats about it. And I told Randy, I said, Randy, we were at the World Championships, and whoever decided to do it was there, and we heard it right out of their mouth that it was 21, moved to 21 and stuff. And they said no. So we went to the AMA place, got the rules. I had to highlight everything. So that went on. And then once that was taken care of, then people were saying, well, at 18, you're an adult and you shouldn't be flying against kids and stuff.
Their rules are rules, man. You can't
If
argue with that.
the FAI says it's freaking 21, then it's 21, man.
Right.
Who gives a shit?
Well, then other people were saying it's other people's, if you get a chance to go or whatever.
Oh, it's somebody else's turn to go.
Right. It's somebody else's turn. Samantha's like, I thought you send the best flyers to represent the United States.
And under the
Yeah.
FAI rules, a junior is 21 and
Right.
below. So you send the best flyer from your country. You think them other countries ain't going to have a bunch of 21-year-olds there for juniors?
Oh, I know it. But Samantha is not putting up with it. She's like, I'm not going to argue with these people. I ain't going to listen to this crap. So
She doesn't have to argue with them.
I told her that if she wants to, next year we will go to the European Championship. Anybody can go. We'll find out where it's going to be held. We'll fly over there. We'll fly in the damn.
I don't. Man, Steve,
She
that's
doesn't have to argue with anybody. She can just ignore them.
okay. So that let me just say this, Steve. By that logic and that precedent that's been set, that she's being told that she's too old to go, and it's somebody else's turn to go. So the next couple juniors that come through, what they're going to stop when they're 18, or are they going
No.
to continue to try out for the
It's
team?
like she said, they didn't want a girl on the team. They want boys on the team. They didn't want a girl. And
But no, do you understand what I'm saying?
right. You know what, Mike? I know it,
When the next junior that goes the next two cycles or whatever hits 17 or 18 years old, are they going to be told, well, you're too old now, it's somebody else's turn to go?
Yeah. Somebody
That's
else's
horseshit.
turn. Right. Well, she's just done with it. That and what got her too was that I don't know if you remember if you were going there or not, but she wanted to be a judge. So she judged at Brodak and all that kind of stuff and trained. Well, then they said that she had to train at the Nats. So she went out there and sat out on the tarmac for 2 years and sat alongside the judges, and then they checked her scores against the other judges and stuff to see how her stuff was. And then they said, well, we don't think you should judge because the adults aren't going to like to be judged by a junior, somebody who's not an adult. So they didn't let her judge then. Well, then this year, Daly's son judged. He's younger than her.
Yeah.
He never had to go through any of the training. And she goes, what is this shit? They make me do training at Brodak, training at other contests, training at the Nats. Then they don't let me judge. And they let him do it. And he's had no training. And he got to judge his own brother in the finals.
Yeah. I didn't know all that was going on.
Yep. And she's like, you know what? She goes, I'm just tired of this whole Pampa shit and thing. The rules they come up with, what they say, what they do. She goes, they've just been putting roadblocks in front of me my whole time I've been flying. She goes, I'll just wait till they all die off.
Well, I think it's unfortunate that somebody from Pampa told her that she was too old to be a junior and fly FAI for the World Championship anymore, and that it was somebody else's turn. I think that's horseshit. If FAI changed the rules to allow juniors to be 21, anybody who's 21 in the United States, 21 or younger in the U.S., to be encouraged to go to the team trials and make the team and fly for the U.S. team.
Right. And the other thing was, you have to be there on a Friday to sign up, to weigh your planes in and shit. So she would have had to take off from college and from work so we could have been there by Friday morning.
That's not anything against her. That's just the rules, man.
No. But what I'm saying is, it's crazy. They could weigh the planes there on Saturday. I mean, all they do, you go in there and they weigh the planes and then pick the order. I mean, and you don't have that many people flying. So the next thing is, juniors only fly on Sunday, just like last time. So all day Saturday, the juniors do nothing. So Sunday you fly, and now you got to take Monday off of school and stuff too. Instead of letting the juniors fly on Saturday so you could get the hell out of there and go home. And the other thing was, she was the only junior there last 2 years ago. So I said, let her put up a flight. All she has to do is put up one qualifying flight. She's done. Nope. It's set like this. She can't fly till tomorrow. I'm like, how fucking stupid is this shit all the time, over and over?
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. Because I had, I got a phone call asking Sam to come and fly team trials, junior F2D. All he had to do is put up a flight and be there, and he would have made the team to fly combat for the U.S. team.
Yeah.
Riley's already a shoe-in.
Yeah.
He was on the team last year.
Well, no, he goes back as a world champion.
Yeah. Right. But they didn't think they were going to have any other juniors for the team this year. So Mears reached out to me and said, hey, man, Sam just needs to show up at Muncie and fly, and he could be on the team. But we don't fly F2D. So, that we weren't going to do it. Well, that's a whole nother. But they were it would have been accommodating. You know what I mean? They were like, hey, we need a junior, another junior for the team. Let him show up and he can go,
Well, that was like with Samantha. She was going to fly combat because you had to have 5 flyers or something. Then you got so much money for the team to go for the junior, Otherwise, you didn't. If there wasn't enough juniors, however combat works. So she was going to go fly just so they had the numbers, but then someone else showed up, so she didn't have to. But they were going to give her an airplane and shit, and all she had to do was fly.
Yeah.
She didn't have to fly combat. She just had to fly the airplane.
Yeah.
In a match.
Well, that wasn't the way Sam and I wanted to get him flying combat on the U.S. team. We don't fly F2 anyway,
Yeah.
so it's a moot point because it's an event we don't fly and we don't have the equipment, so it doesn't matter. But what I guess what I was trying to say was the combat guys were like, hey, get him in there or he can go. You know, there was no
Right.
roadblocks like you're talking roadblocks. They were encouraged.
I tell you
like,
what.
hey, he's there. You know,
The combat guys with the juniors, they're all there about helping them, making sure everything is right and all that kind of stuff. And it doesn't work that way with stunt.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Now,
Because
it's just
I hope for Samuel to one day try out for the team and go. You know, good enough. But I'll tell you what, I don't give a fuck if he's 20 years old and someone says he shouldn't be flying in a world championships as a junior. I'd have a real problem with that. Those are the rules. The
well.
FAI made the rules. It
One thing
says
about it is that we figured since she was there last time, we really know what's going on now. What kind of airplane you have to have, what they look for, and stuff like that, how the scoring works, all this. You know, I mean, we were there retrimming an airplane. She didn't have only a handful of flights on it anyway when we got there. And then we knew we had to have it turn a lot faster. So we're doing shit to it. But I mean, it was just a pain in the ass. I mean, we would have been prepared. We fly no F2A here, or F2B. We don't fly none in the United States. We should have been at the European Championships 2 weeks before. Flew that and then been ready for the World Championships. All the other kids were at the other thing. The judges all knew them. The people knew them. I mean, we came in here cold as hell with no help, no nothing. You know, and that's why with Sam building this, I want to help him out. So if he ever does go, he's prepared, know what's coming up. And
yeah, no, I get it. I mean, we'll put in the effort and the time and build airplanes, and if his flying gets better, and that I can't say that it'll be the next World Championships or even the one after that. It could be the one when he's 16 or 17. You know, it could be 5 years away for him. You know, based on their other kids that are in the pipeline right now, you're going to have to beat them for a spot on the team and all that. But you know, he's 10. We got lots of time. We have 11 years before he's not eligible to be a junior team member. So, you know, like I said, if he's 20 years old and makes the U.S. team as a junior, them's the rules, man. Right? So nobody's going to discourage us. Nobody from Pampa is going to discourage me from letting my boy fly at 20 years old in a world championship by saying he's too old and it's somebody else's turn. That's bullshit. If the FAI rules for the world championships say 21 and under is a junior, then them's the rules.
yeah. Well, and the other thing was they were saying how good the other kids are. The one kid from Ohio there. I can't think of the last name. The Russian dad's kids. What? You know? Yeah. How good he was and all this kind of stuff. And Samantha's like, "You think he can beat me flying?" You know? So they were giving her crap about that. She's like, "Hell, they may try to steal it from me at the world champion, you know, at the team trials." And I said, "Well, that's okay, because I'll go buy a good camera to film it and put on the tracker if they try this shit, you know." But we didn't go anyway.
I don't think that would have mattered. Samantha's definitely better fly, you know, on any day of the week. But
it's like she said there, even at the Nats.
Because she's older, Steve. She's older and she's been flying longer than all the other juniors. So She should be a better pilot. She should.
Well,
You
what
know?
it was is that on some of the flights there at the Nats for the whatever, you know, they were within like 10 points of her. And she's like, them kids got 18-foot bottoms and they're within 10 points of me. You know, so she's like, this is a bunch of shit. You know, same thing with takeoffs, how, you know, fucking launch up. And she seems scored sheets and stuff like this. And she goes, this is just a bunch of crap.
Hey, Steve, answer me a question.
Yeah.
What the hell is an 18-foot bottom?
This one
I
that's
think that's
18 foot high.
That's like a middle.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's like, I was like, what would be the point in that? If you're gonna fly, well,
It was kind of windy. So, you know, there were some pretty good winds and stuff like that. But still, I mean, yeah, loops that were almost, you know, there were really squares that were just super high bottoms. But
they were like the top of a vertical 8. All the loops are the top of a vertical 8.
now they were lower than that, but they were there were no way close to 6 foot.
When I
Hey.
broke into stunt with my dad, and he was teaching me how to fly, he was like, keep the airplane as high as you can.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want me to bust it up, because we didn't want to have to go home and fix it.
That was the kind of bottoms.
And then after a while, and I grew up a little bit, and I got my own job, and I was buying my own airplanes. I started flying. My dad's like, come on, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. My dad had me flying at 4 foot steady. My bottoms were 4 foot consistent. I mean, no,
They're
okay,
still
I'm
too
talking
high.
20 years ago.
4 foot bottoms are too high. You know where Sam flies his bottoms? At the asphalt.
No, my bottoms were 4 feet above the asphalt.
I'll tell you
Luckily.
what, Sam
Yeah.
now puts in some good bottoms. Sam puts in, that's the one mistake Sam's making. If he would try to do like 7 foot bottoms right now and bring him down gradually, but he gets most of the 5 foot bottoms, and it's just that one he misses.
Right. I know. That's what I'm saying.
If he'd
Yeah.
fly higher on all of them, he wouldn't have any crashes.
I
It's
know.
just
But
his bottoms are low. There is no doubt about it. But it's one in the vertical 8 or the clover or something like that gets him.
yes, Steve, he's fucking that up big time. I'll give you that. But I'll tell you what, even though he didn't win at the Nats and he crashed both times, his pullouts on his reverse wingovers, his squares, inside and outside squares, and his square 8 were better than any other junior there. Because he was drilling them at 5 feet.
Bar none. Yep.
He was drilling them.
Weren't some of them bottoms up so high that they weren't really a bottom?
They were in middle.
Yeah. I tell you, if Sam wouldn't have crashed, he should have got a better score than them other ones just because of his bottoms and the size of his loops and where they're positioned and everything else.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. But he crashed, so whatever, you know.
Yeah, it is what it is.
His corners pullouts on the reverse wing over and his squares, even on his triangles, his bottoms are like, you know, they're right there. He's got that. His bottoms on his loops are right there, you know.
One day when he has it all, he'll have great bottoms because he has really good bottoms now on most of the stuff.
Right.
That's what I try to tell him. Fly it up 6 foot. Give yourself a couple feet there. But boy, he brings them right down to 5 feet all the time. He's going to do it. That's all there is to it. And that's like on the clover and everything. By God, he's getting that in down at the bottom there.
Right. And we'll keep breaking airplanes until he gets it right, man. You know, I don't want him to be scared. And all that shit comes from him flying combat planes. He's not scared of getting close to the ground, you know? You know, you see it in intermediate, man. Grown men doing 15-foot bottoms on all their maneuvers, man. They're just scared to. People are scared to bring their planes down to the right pullout altitude.
Well, I was
But
like
that
at the
you take
World
I
your
want that
typical,
kid to
Championship.
have. I want that kid to have no fear when it comes to bottoms, man.
You know,
yeah,
that's
but you take your typical 25-year-old who's out there flying model airplanes, has nothing else, going on in his life. That's probably all he can afford to do, and that's what he's doing for fun. And if he goes out there and wastes his one airplane,
yeah.
he's in a world of hurt.
Well, yeah,
Well,
there's that.
that was like
That's
Dan Banjock at the AMA going, ooh, ooh, when Samantha do her pullouts. Because one thing is she didn't do a lot of people get their bottoms with a sweeping corner on their squares. I mean, she comes down and cranks that damn thing right at the last second. And he's like, oh, he goes, God, that makes me nervous. But when we're at the World Championships, I mean, it was making my butt pucker. I thought for sure them damn things were going in because she'd hold it so long and just crank that corner. But
good. Jeff, I understand what you're saying about the 25
yeah,
year old that has one airplane, he's going to crash it, but that's not my scenario with Sam. I will build him 100 fucking airplanes to get him to where he's fearless and can just do it. You know
And
what I
that
mean?
is that is totally awesome. I love that. Because my
You
dad
know,
couldn't afford to do that for me. And when I was a kid, I had a little jumping bean and I crashed it. We took it home and we glued it back together. And we took it out again and I crashed it again. And we took it home and we glued it back together. And that's the way it worked.
right, right. But just flying for fun, but flying to get into competitive control line flying is, I think it's two different animals. Sport flying and learning to fly. But if you're going to compete, and I do want Sam to be a competitor, I want him to compete, and I want him to excel at this. You got to throw money at it, and you got to throw time and
Well,
airplanes.
then again,
And
then again,
as long as we're having fun doing it, I'm willing to throw as much money and time and airplanes at it as it takes for
this
us
is
to
very
to
true.
do
This
this.
is very true. And something somebody told me a long time ago. You show me a hobby that's not expensive, and I'll show you a waste of time.
Yeah, there you go. There
you
No,
you
know
go.
I
what it
love
is.
what you're doing for Sam. I hope the world for him. I hope he turns out to be the champion.
Me
You
too.
know what? It's more than money. Really, these airplanes you can scratch build an airplane fairly cheap. It is the time that it takes,
Yeah.
especially if you're a kid trying to teach them how to build and stuff like that. You have so much time in it. I mean, yeah, Sparky can build an airplane in 40, 60 hours, whatever. Quadruple that for a kid.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
you're there for
Sparky's built
months,
a hundred
night
thousand
after
airplanes too.
Well,
night
and they
after.
have to learn. They got to learn all the processes and procedures. Each airplane gets better than the last, and there's all that. All of us have been building airplanes all our lives, and we all get better still. So, but just imagine when you were 10 or 12 or 13 years old, the kind of airplanes you built. But then think about the planes you
Oh,
built when you were 25 or 30. And then think about the kind of planes you built when you were 40 years old. It takes a long
yeah.
time to learn to do all that stuff. But my thing is, I may only have Sam for 6 or 7 more years through high school, and he goes to college, and he's like, "Screw model airplanes. I don't want to do that anymore."
You know
So
what, Mike? He'll never
I'm,
lose it.
I know, but we all go in and out of the hobby, and not all kids stick with it the whole way. So I'm just gonna throw everything I have at it while I got them, because we're making memories doing it.
That's what my dad did for me, and I love every minute of it because I have airplanes that have been hanging on the wall for years. My dad has airplanes that have been hanging on the wall for years. And every once in a while, we'll take one down, take it to the flying field, we'll go out and we'll have a day together. But we're not competing anymore.
Well,
Right.
that's what really pisses me off about this whole deal. All the time and money that we put into this, and she still wanted to do it, and then people giving her crap about it.
Well, you got to do it for yourself. It's one of those things you can't expect people to appreciate it because nobody knows what it is.
No, these are people who do it. That's what I'm saying is the crap she got at the Nats this year really pissed me.
She got shit from people at that contest.
Yes, that's what all this stuff was saying. What was being said was at the Nats where she was flying. All the stuff that happened,
Why
and
didn't you
it's
just
hard
stomp
enough
on them?
keeping kids involved in it, let alone to give them crap and make them not want to do it. I mean, that's what pisses me off about it. Will
Well,
she ever go back to flying? I don't know if she'll ever fly again. I mean,
for one thing, Steve, we have a young person coming into this hobby, sport, whatever you want to call it. I call it a hobby because I have a lot of fun with it. I love the competition, so it's kind of a sport, but it's still a hobby. We have a young person coming in, and for somebody to come in here and crap on her like that, that's a little out of line.
well,
Especially read the AMA magazine. Oh, we encourage boys and girls to learn this. Oh, and here we are at the Nats, and they're saying no.
well,
What
what
kind of
it
horse
is,
shit is
it's
that?
like I told her. She goes, "I don't know why they don't like me." And I said, "It's not that they don't like you; they don't like me."
No, it's not that they don't like you or her. It's just she flies better
No,
than everybody else.
I'm very opinionated, and there's
Oh,
no
and
doubt
I'm
about it.
not.
And I won't hold back. It's me. If you don't like me for being me, then you don't like me. But
Then me and you would get along really good. Either
you
that or we
know,
would
it
butt
has.
heads like a mad dog.
You know, it's like me and Sparky. We get along great and stuff. Politics, we're so far apart, but it doesn't bother me if someone doesn't believe like I believe. This is what I believe. This is my opinion. Everybody deserves their own opinion or whatever. I don't get mad about it.
Mm-hmm.
But
These people are mouthing off to Samantha have no authority at all. And my advice would be to ignore them. Don't even pay any attention. Let it go in one ear, out the other, and go fly your plane and kick their ass.
yeah, well,
10-4, Rusty. Knock it out of the park.
what it is though, you got to remember she's a girl, and
So,
girls get their feelings hurt real easy. They're not like guys. Guys are tougher. There is no doubt about it. Samantha might be able to beat these guys flying, but she's not as tough. You can hurt her feelings and you can make her cry. You know, and
why would anybody ever want to do that?
I don't think they want to do it. They just don't understand girls. You know, to me, she cries. It doesn't bother me because she's a girl and she just cries. You know, it's like I don't understand it, but stuff upsets her more than it does me or whatever. You know.
Yeah, nothing bothers me more than watching a lady cry.
Yeah, but you know, and another thing is that I got into it with Jose Modesto and over at the World Championships because he was yelling at Samantha and she started shaking. You know, so I had my finger in his face and told him, if you ever yell at my daughter again, me and you got problems. Well, that didn't go
Good
over
for
good.
you. Good for you.
Stuff like that.
Is he one of the Brazilians?
Huh? No, he's an American.
Uh,
He was there helping Orestes. But there was a big thing about practicing and all this kind of shit. And I mean, I was so damn mad that because we packed up where we were practicing at, went there, and said, "Oh, we all got to be here and stuff." We didn't all have to be there. We should have just stayed and practiced where we were at, you know. But they're trying to squeeze in another flight for arrestees and stuff, and it was for the team. I'm like, he ain't even on our team. Arrestees was the champion, so he went back as his own person. He wasn't on the American team. His points
Yeah,
didn't
that
count
guy,
for the
that
team or
that
anything.
that guy Orestes, his brother flies out here in the valley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his brother flies out here.
I mean, Orestes is a nice guy and shit, but I mean, it was just different things went on, and it's like I told Samantha, it's not that they don't like you, they don't like me.
Oh, wait till you meet Orestes' brother. He's not a nice guy.
But
You will probably take him to the parking lot. He's that kind of guy.
Well, let's not talk smack about other flyers in other parts of the
Yeah,
country.
good call. Good
Let's
call, Mike. Thanks.
keep it nice. Let's not slander anybody or people we haven't met, or let's just let's squash that, guys.
Absolutely right.
That's probably a good idea.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. Wish I'd been on that earlier. But yeah, I mean, I've met less bad people in this sport than any other type of competitive adventure I've ever been a part of. Everybody that I've met's been just great people.
I'd say most of them, but there's just difference of opinions and stuff like that. And I don't believe in turns, and I don't believe you gotta earn your way to anything or whatever. Pay your dues. That was another thing. You gotta pay your dues. It's like I don't believe in that shit.
I agree. We all pay an entry fee to be here. Let's just fly the match. Let's just
Right.
have a good time.
But yeah, so
It doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter if it's a fly-in or a contest. We all paid $10 to get in here, or 25, whatever it is. Let's just fly the match.
But like I said, that
No,
FCM, that was about the most fun contest I've ever been at. It
how
really
did
was. We had a blast there. I mean,
did
an
Dick go?
absolute blast.
How did Dick do?
He didn't go.
He didn't go.
No.
I thought him and Pat were going.
Yeah, Dick isn't feeling so good. They think he's got colon cancer.
Oh,
Shit.
Well, that's not good.
oh.
He was to the doctor again today, and they did a biopsy of the tumor and stuff, and he'll find out more Tuesday.
Oh boy.
That's a long time to have to wait and think about it. God.
Yeah, what he did was, he knew this was all coming up, but he put it off so he could go to the Nats and the FCM was the last contest, and then the week, right after that he goes in.
You might as well grab the fun while the getting's good.
Yeah, that's what he figured. So, but he didn't make the Detroit contest or he didn't make FCM either. He wasn't feeling good. So, yeah, I talked to him today, see if he needed anything, but he said he was doing fine. And, I told him, if he needed me to drive or whatever, he needed to go someplace or needed food or, being put out today, that I'd come over. But he said that he was good. So,
Oh shit. That sucks, man. I really like Dick.
yeah.
And he's been really good to Samuel, man, since we met him a couple of years ago.
Dick's a good guy.
What's his last name?
I'm off.
Imhoff.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about.
He comes on every once. He hasn't been on here in a month or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
But yeah, I mean, Dick taught me how to. I could fly. He was trying to teach me how to fly combat shit back when I was a kid. That's how long I've known him. So I've known him for shit in 45 years. But he's always been that way. He'll help anybody, and stuff like that. He's a good guy.
Well, that's kind of what this hobby's supposed to be all about. You know, if you're not willing to help, just don't do it.
And by and large, it is what it's all about. And most people treat it that way, but there's a bunch of dicks in every crowd, I guess.
Yeah, I guess there is because I've run across a few of them around here in LA. I'm
But
sure
it's all
Charles
good.
knows what I'm talking about.
You know, it's like I told Samantha. I feel like I wish we could still go. You know, we should have went, you know, to these contests. But yet it's such a weight off my shoulders that I feel I'm glad we're not doing it anymore. You know, because it was always getting stuff ready and this and that and the money and everything else. And, you know, we didn't have it this weekend. And it's like, hell, you know, hundreds of dollars saved. And
And a
a
nice
lot of time.
barbecue on Sunday afternoon.
Now she works, so, but yeah, you know, she would have lost, I don't know, over $300 by going to this because she had to give up her Thursday day of work, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Well, we may have got her back in time on Monday, but
Maybe.
you know,
You know what, though, Steve? It's just as much fun just to hang around and fly the local contests. You don't need to go to the Worlds. You don't need to go to the Nationals.
yeah, she wanted to kind of go to the Worlds just for the reason that she wanted to do better. That she thought that she could do a lot better. No one, you know, what was going on and trying and that I know his friend's name. You know, they were gonna let us build airplane there in Chicago and have it all ready and have a top-notch airplane that had all that great bell
All
crank
that
system.
adjustability that's going to get you in trouble anyway. The more adjustable my airplanes are, the more trouble I get myself in.
Yeah, one thing about try-ins though, I mean, you can adjust it to your flying. I mean, if you don't like how much elevator, how much flap, I mean,
That would be nice if I knew what my flying actually was.
yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So Jeff, do you fly in contests still?
I haven't flown a contest in probably 10 years.
10 years? Okay.
I've been flying mostly loops and lazy eights with a ringmaster and a shoestring.
Right on.
Since then,
What was your favorite contest? Did you fly like classic or Pampa or old time? Uh, you know,
I flew a Magnum in Pampa. I flew Thunder Gazer. I flew the predecessor of the Strega.
okay. All
I
right. So
actually
you're Pampa stunt guy. Did you like old time and did you ever do any racing? I
no,
think you
I
said you
like
did
Pampa and Combat.
Pampa and combat. Okay.
If it,
Right
I
on.
mean, they when I first started flying stunt, they asked me, "This is your first contest?" I said, "Yes." They said, "Do you want to fly beginner?" I said, "I don't know the beginner pattern. I know this pattern," and I rattled it off to them. And they said, "Okay, you're going to start as an intermediate." And I think out of 37 flyers, I think I finished 35th. And then I was probably 15, 16 years old. And then later on, I flew and I flew and I flew. By the time I was 20, I was up in the top 5 somewhere. And then I lost interest in stunt because I got bored with it and I started flying combat. And then I kind of started flying both a couple of years later.
Where were you flying combat at?
Whittier Narrows. What
Whittier?
Sparky calls Gopher Gulch.
Yeah. Okay.
And I flew at Whittier. I flew at Whittier, and I flew in Fresno. One time I flew in Fresno, but mostly I flew at Whittier.
Okay.
I never went out for the real big con. I went to Tucson once. I went to Top Gun,
Yeah.
but I flew 80. I didn't fly this so fast.
Yeah. Okay. And what year was that? What was your last year of flying combat?
I went to Tucson in '93.
Okay. They still have that
That's
contest out there.
oh, I know. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. And
They
they
still
still
fly.
have a class for the plane I flew.
Yeah. They still fly Phoenix. They do it in Phoenix, and I think Whittier still even has some combat stuff from time to time.
Whittier has combat contests if you get in touch with Greg Carter.
Yeah. And isn't
He'll
Maywald
Greg
out there? Bill Maywald is out there, I think.
Bill Maywald, Greg Carter, Doc is out there. Don Rep is out there.
Don Rupp. Yeah. Don
Allen,
Jensen. He doesn't Don Jensen live out that way, California?
Don Rep.
No, Don Jensen.
Jensen's out there. Jensen, I haven't seen Jensen since I was playing years ago.
I just saw him at the Nats here last month. Actually, like the last 3 Nats is where I met him.
How
And then
about Alan DeVoe? Have you seen Alan DeVoe?
no, I don't know him. I just know his name. And another one that you just said, I don't know personally, but I know his name, Don Rapp.
Don Rep.
Yeah, and they're still active on the forums on the MACA site. They're still active
Well,
on the MACA page.
you know Chuck Rudner.
Yeah, I know Chuck. Yeah.
Chuck Rudner, that's Doc, and his son Mark Rudner.
They
Mark
both
Rud-
just made the team. They're
Mark
on the
Rudner
U.S.
writes
team.
the column for AMA Magazine.
Yeah.
I used to fly with both of those guys.
How about Lance? Did you know Lance Matassa?
Yeah,
So I know him through a good friend of mine, Larry Davis. Lance was
Larry
Larry
Davis.
Larry Davis. Yeah,
I know Larry
was
Davis.
one
I
of
met him like one time a long time ago.
well,
He
that's
must
how
have
I
been
got
out
in.
here visiting.
That's how I got into combat. He lived in Nashville for like 3 years, and I met him here, and he's the one that got me started flying combat. He's
Well,
in Phoenix now.
he must have been out here visiting when I met him.
Well, he moved to Phoenix like 5 years ago, and him and Lance would do the March Madness contest out there, the Red Flag
Okay,
in Phoenix, the FT contest.
that's a big
Well, you know
show.
Jeff Hanauer. You know Jeff Hanauer then too,
I
I'm
know
sure.
Hanover.
Okay, so he passed away about 4 years ago,
Oh no shit.
and then yeah, Jeff had a massive stroke and a heart attack, and
Wow.
yeah, he dropped dead like 4 years ago, I think, maybe 3. So Hanauer was a big part of the Phoenix crew, and Jeff and Larry came to Huntersville, North Carolina, the North Carolina contest that me and Rusty fly at. That's where I met Jeff Hanauer with Larry Davis,
Do you know a
and then
guy named Bill Johnson?
I recognize the name.
Bill Johnson was an old school combat guy. He was back Phil Cartier days, back when Phil was really big in it. I mean, Phil's
Yeah, it
really
sounds
big.
familiar.
Phil's really big as far as kidding and all that stuff. But when Phil was really flying, Bill flew with him.
Okay. Well,
And
so you knew
that's
Hanauer. What I was getting at was the Phoenix connection, and Larry Davis, the guy that got me started in combat. He was good friends with Jeff Hanauer and Lance Matassa, and Lance just passed right before the contest early this year, the March Madness contest. I think we passed a week before that. Or
Wow.
the day, maybe even the day
So-
of or the day before.
Hmm.
They had a write up on them in Model Aviation this month. There's a combat column this month in Model Aviation, and there's a write up about Lance in there.
I'll have to check it out. I haven't even opened the magazine yet.
Yeah, it's in there. It's in this month's issue. There's a write up about how he contributed so much in Phoenix and ran those two big F2D contests every year, and yeah, he passed a day or two before the contest started. That was already
Yeah,
on the book.
I met all those guys for the very first time in like 1994, and we were at the big what we called a laugh fest. It was the Toys for Tots contest. You get in for a $5 toy, and then if you want to fly combat, you throw $5 in a bucket. And the winner, it was double elimination and winner take all.
Yeah.
So, Charles, you're going to have that fuselage done after the long weekend?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to have it done this weekend.
Cool.
That's my goal. Right now, I basically have both sides done, and the crutch. I showed that last time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask a Sparky question. How much does it weigh?
No, I haven't weighed it. I've been meaning to weigh the crutch. Yeah. Right now, I'm making a hatch for the adjustable elevator.
Yeah, I seen you got that in there. So you got all the bulkheads cut out and ready to put together?
Pretty much.
What's the airplane, Charles?
This is a Strega.
Yeah, Mike?
What?
It's a Strega.
Yeah, Strega.
Full fuse Strega you're building.
Yeah,
What's
full
the
fuse
power?
Strega.
What's the power?
It's gonna be this here monster here. It's gonna be K77 on a tuned pipe.
You're too high. Yeah, there you go. Got to get it lower.
There we go.
Not on the game. Hang on, let me highlight you, Charles. I was texting my son on the telephone.
Oh, that's sexy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Charles,
it is. Yeah.
Is that going to go up against my Infinity with the PA75 that I'm building for the Nats next year?
You know what? I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the Nats next year. I don't know. Dennis Nunez is talking about going. We had a little brief conversation.
That was a challenge, Charles. That was a challenge.
Take him up on it, Charles. Go get him.
I would love to have a chance to have my own plane there. Yeah, I mean, Sparky's plane was awesome. I wish I would have had. I think I only did like 3 patterns before I went into the qualification. So if I would have had more handle time, it would have been maybe a different outcome. So yeah, I'd love to have a plane that I'm ready to fly. So I've had a good success with Stregas, and this will be my 3rd one. Ah, mother. That's the plan.
Charles, you want a 4th Strega?
I want a what?
You want a 4th Strega?
Sure, why not?
I got one I'm about ready to part with. It walks me around the circle, and I don't like to fly it.
What's wrong with
Yeah,
it?
it's hard to fly with your feet off the ground.
Well, it's got an Aerostar 61 in it, and it walks me around the ring like crazy.
Yeah, I've only heard about Aerostar 61. I remember seeing them on Kodak's website, but I've never seen one run in person.
They actually run pretty good. I mean, it's not quite a Fox 35, but they run pretty good.
Yeah, I got a question for you guys and anybody on YouTube. What in the hell causes Charlie horses? I get these big.
I've never
Mountain
gotten a
Dew.
good,
Huh?
I've never gotten a good answer to that.
Oh my God, I get them all the time. I wake up in the middle of the night with them. I get them in my
Potassium.
feet and my legs.
Try
Hey,
eating more
Steve. Hey,
potassium.
Steve.
Potassium. Steve, take
Mountain
potassium
Dew.
pills or eat 2 bananas every day. It's
Yeah.
potassium, Steve. That's why you're getting
Yeah.
cramps. You
Holy
don't have
shit.
enough potassium in your diet. I promise you. That's what it is, brother.
You know, also, Steve, my wife considers, see if you're really acidic. If your body is acidic, that's going to make you also predisposed to cramping as opposed to more alkaline. Like I put baking soda in my black coffee to kind of neutralize some of the acid. And I really try to watch my acid. When I have a lot of coffee, I
Oh, no shit.
cramp more.
All I do is drink some stuff with acid in it.
Oh my God, Steve, that's why you're having freaking leg cramps all the time.
Is it?
Okay, so like that wasn't even like a glass of soda that you're just having tonight. You got a freaking 2 liter that you're sucking out of.
You see how much is left since I've been on the show? I opened this when I started.
Jesus
Oh
Christ,
my
Steve,
God.
you're sick.
Dude, no,
Yeah.
you cannot. It's poison. You cannot put all that in your body, man.
What it is that
Wonder why your legs are cramping at night. You drink one of those every
And
night? Is that just the nighttime one? Did you have one this morning too?
yeah,
Did you already drink one today? So that's your second one today?
yep.
That's your second one today, second 2 liter.
caffeine's also a vasoconstrictor, so
Okay,
that can limit the blood
this
flow to your muscles.
this is my second 2 liter, and I also had 2 1 liters.
Okay, so Steve,
Holy God.
listen, I'm gonna clue you into this brand new thing that they have. If you go in your kitchen, the place where you do your dishes at, there's this thing called a faucet, and
Faucet,
water
yeah.
comes out of this faucet. Water comes out of this thing, and you should drink probably 4 liters of water every day, and then maybe 1 liter of soda as a treat. You
Even
should be
in Michigan, the water can't be that bad.
I'll tell you something else that's good to drink. Before I was fluid restricted, I would buy the I was trying to get off of Coke, so I would buy the flavored cran apple, or those drinks that come in the plastic liter or 2 liter jugs on the juice aisle, and not cold, just on the juice aisle. And that stuff is pretty benign. It doesn't have caffeine. It doesn't have a lot of other chemicals in it either.
I used to
Steve, you're
drink 2
drinking.
liters of beer.
You're drinking a gallon of soda every day.
Yeah.
A gallon. You're drinking a gallon of soda, and you wonder why you're having freaking leg cramps at night. Your body's dehydrated, man. It's dehydrated and full of caffeine.
When I'm on the dialysis machine and it starts dropping my electrolytes, including potassium, I'll cramp like a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And I'm tied to the chair, so I can't get up. I just got to endure it. And cramps suck.
Well, what it is that since I had chemo, I got dry mouth. My mouth is dry all the time.
Yeah, but soda's not
And
going
I
to
never
fix
used
it.
to drink. That's why I said,
Yeah. Find something else to drink. Try those juice drinks I was talking about. They come in 2 liter bottles, and I used to like the cran grape or whatever, stuff like that.
Even
I mean,
beer would be
shit,
better
even
than Mountain Dew.
apple juice, orange juice, cranberry juice, anything
what?
would be better
Yeah,
than a
orange
gallon
juice
of
has got
Mountain Dew.
potassium in it too. Orange juice is a great potassium supply.
You know, and I don't know what it is, but not water and other things don't cut the dryness in my mouth. I mean, it's like, I don't know if it's the acid in here that does it or if it's the carbonation in the water, but it cleans my mouth. Otherwise, it's always sticky.
Yeah.
Dry and sticky since I've had chemo.
Well, Coke is the
Steve.
first thing I hit out of the fridge every morning to clean my mouth out, but that's before I brush my teeth and all. But I'm talking about a 12-ounce can that I'm going to nurse for the next 4 hours too.
Maybe I just got to find something else to, you know, I don't know if it's the
Steve.
carbonation, if it's
Try
the acid
diluted.
in this stuff or the whatever,
Yeah,
but
diluted.
try iced
Steve.
tea. Iced tea, plain, unsweet, no sugar, none of that shit, no store bought stuff. Like brew some iced tea and drink that, man. Steve, you cannot drink a gallon of fucking soda every day, man.
No,
Two
that's
2 liters and two
dangerous.
1 liters. You cannot do that, Steve.